Chapter 33-31. Advance bravely. I'm guessing that they are only a part of it. After all, not everyone knows that I respect Senior Uncle He. Only the people from the Grand Simplicity Nebula sect know about it. This matter isn't a small matter. Lin Ling shook his head as a thought flashed through his mind. It might be the new heavenly court. That's right. Sakura and the others' faces changed when they heard Wangu Ji's words. Did the new heavenly court finally find them? However, compared to their shock, Lin Ling calmed down quickly. After all, he had a hunch that something was going to happen. What should we do now? Sakura asked as he looked at Lin Ling. Let's go back. Senior Uncle He might be strict with us, but he treats us well. If something happens to him, I won't be able to answer to Master. Lin Ling said resolutely. But what awaits us when we return is a huge trap. That's right. Wangu Wuji said worriedly. Even if we know that there are tigers in the mountain, we still have to go. There aren't many people in the Grand Simplicity Nebula sect who can make us acknowledge them. Senior Uncle He is one of them. That's right. Lin Ling looked into the distance as the determination in his eyes deepened. I'll go with you. Wangu Wuji, Wangu Fengyun, and the others looked at each other and spoke without any hesitation. You have to know that this trip is extremely dangerous. We might not be facing a mere Wangu family. Lin Ling looked at Wangu Wuji with a strange expression. Hee hee. Wangu Wuji chuckled when he heard Lin Ling's words. Lin Ling, if you know that I'm in trouble, aren't you going to risk your life for me as well? If you, Lin Ling, can do it, then why can't I, Wangu Wuji, do it? Lin Ling, there's no need for you to say anything more. If you say anything more, you'll be looking down on me. That's right. Lin Ling, we were going to die anyway. You were the one who saved our lives. At most, we'll return our lives to you. Wangu Fengyun and the others chimed in. These fellows. Sakura and the others felt their blood rushing to their heads. Wangu Wuji and the others were hot-blooded people. Youngsters, if you don't rush into the world, are you going to rush into it when you're old? Wangu Wuji laughed as he looked at Sakura and the others. Sakura and the others also laughed heartily. Yes, they were not old monsters that had cultivated for 10,000 years, and they were not as cautious as these old monsters. However, they had a drive towards the martial Tao, towards danger and difficulties. Only by courageously moving forward would one not waste one's life on the martial Tao. Let's go together then. Of the Heavenly Calamity Nebula, S of the Heavens. In the distance, the sky was still blue with white clouds drifting leisurely. However, Lin Ling could sense that a storm would soon reach the sky of the Yen province. At this moment, the Grand Change Nebula sect was quite lively. Experts from various forces in the 9 prefectures were chatting. Some were watching a good show, and some wanted to see how the Son of Devil was like with their own eyes. Heavens! Heaves heavenly and E. Everyone in the Nebula sect raised their heads and looked at the gloomy sky. As time passed, more and more experts arrived. Of course, they also clearly saw that there were only 3 major forces that wanted to capture Lin Ling. One was the new Heavenly Court, another was the Wangu clan, and the last was the Divine Escort Mansion. Everyone knew that the new Heavenly Court had a grudge with the Devil's Son. Even the martial god was paying attention to this place. If Lin Ling came, he wouldn't be able to escape. As for the Wangu clan, they had heard that Lin Ling had killed the son of the Wangu clan's patriarch and a boundary king. It was no wonder that the Wangu clan was so angry. However, the Divine Escort Mansion had no grudge with the Devil's Son. They were only participating in this matter to establish a good relationship with the new Heavenly Court. Devil's Son. Hee hee, after today, you'll be nothing but a pile of bones. Suddenly, a leisurely voice rang out. A young man in a green brocade robe was standing in a corner of the sky with a few experts. He was looking at the ground leisurely. However, those who dared to speak loudly here were either idiots or had powerful backers. Therefore, many experts looked at the young man. Someone asked indifferently, "Sir, who are you?" Who I am has nothing to do with you. Wangu Qianji has the right to speak." The young man took out a jug of wine and drank leisurely. "Sir, this is the Yen state. Moreover, the experts of the Yen state are gathered here. It's better to keep a low profile." Many people were unhappy with the young man because they had never seen him before. Moreover, the young man's attitude towards them was as if he didn't care about them. However, Wangu Yixiong suddenly frowned. Wangu Qianji. Of course, he knew this name. Wangu Qianji was a powerful genius of the Wangu clan. Because he was too dazzling, he was summoned by the old ancestor. It was said that the old ancestor personally taught him martial arts. However, the young man knew about Wangu Qianji. Could it be? Wangu Yixiong suddenly had a guess. However, those who were unhappy with the young man had already stepped forward. "Sir, you don't have the right to speak here. If I, Duan Yi, want to speak, no one can stop me." The young man smiled gently. His smile seemed calm, but it hid a domineering aura. With a flick of his finger, a dazzling ray of light shot out. The ray of light didn't seem big, but when it landed on one of the cultivators, it directly penetrated his body. It was difficult for any talent or rank to resist it. Boom! Following that, the warrior's body exploded. He was killed in a single move. The crowd immediately fell silent. What powerful energy! This energy isn't ancestral power. Could it be the powerful ultimate desolate physique? I sensed a wisp of divine power from it. Although it wasn't very clear, I still sensed it. He seems to be in the sage realm. After a moment of silence, many people started discussing. Their hearts were filled with shock. This was because they had never seen such an expert in their lives. Duan Yi? Could he be from the Duan clan? Very quickly, someone exclaimed. It was the golden crow from the new heavenly court. The moment his words fell, the sky of the Yen province became even quieter. The Duan family was an ancient family that was as famous as the Wangu family, and both of them had a martial god behind them. Moreover, judging from the surface, the young man called Duan Yi was obviously stronger than all the geniuses in the Wangu family. Perhaps, only the legendary Wangu Qianji would be able to compete with him. After learning of the latter's origin, no one dared to object. They could only feel astonished. They had never imagined that the demon's son would attract the experts of the Miao province. I think the demon's son might not come. Chapter 33-32. Are you ordering me? Junior uncle he was bound by a powerful force, but he gritted his teeth and did not say a word. In his heart, he would rather Lin Ling and the rest did not come. After all, this was the end of his life. However, the disciples recruited by senior brother Xing were talented and had a bright future ahead of them. Hence, there was no need for him to die here. Your gaze makes me uncomfortable. I'm going to dig it out. Seeing that martial uncle he was silent but had a proud expression on his face, the man's eyes turned cold. He raised his right hand and extended his index finger. A wisp of sharp boundary energy wrapped around his index finger. Then, he stabbed his finger into junior uncle He's eyes. As far as he was concerned, Lin Ling probably wouldn't show himself if he didn't teach his martial uncle He a lesson. Moreover, if Lin Ling really didn't dare to show himself, then there was no need for his martial uncle He to stay. Seeing this, the experts in the sky all sneered and remained silent. On the other hand, the people of Grand Simplicity Nebula sect started to shout. Many disciples looked at the Grand Simplicity Old Ancestor. However, the Grand Simplicity Old Ancestor did not look at junior uncle He. Instead, he looked to the other side. This made the disciples of Grand Simplicity Nebula sect sigh in their hearts. Get lost. However, at this moment, a loud shout came from the sky. Then, a sword slashed down and cut open the sky of Yen State. Everyone's eyes focused as they looked into the distance. They saw several figures quickly approaching. Swoosh! As for the man who attacked Junior Uncle he was cut in half by the sword. His upper body fell to the ground and blood flowed out continuously. He pointed at the people in the sky and wanted to say something, but in the end, he did not say anything. Poor him. Because he was impatient, he wanted to dig out Junior Uncle He's eyes. However, in the end, he was killed by a sword. Lin Ling, Di Shi Tian, Meng Lu. Junior Uncle He looked at the people in the sky and his eyes could not help but moisten. They're here. Lin Ling and the rest finally came. He knew that it was a dead end, but he still came. At the same time, everyone stared at Lin Ling and the rest. For many people, this was the first time they saw the son of demon. This kid is really loyal to his friends. But soon, the crowd began to whisper. The son of the devil knew that it was a trap, but he still dared to come. One had to say that he was extraordinarily courageous. Son of the devil. In the new heavenly court, the golden crow sneered as he looked at the distant Lin Ling. After separating in the arena, he had been searching for the son of the demon, and today, he had finally found him. So, you are the son of the devil. Wangu Yixiong's eyes turned frosty. He finally knew why Lin Ling was so powerful. It turned out that he was the son of a devil. For a moment, all the experts were staring at Lin Ling, including the Flame Emperor. This caused everyone to sigh inwardly. With so many experts locking onto the son of devil, he was truly doomed. Lin Ling, you've committed such a grave mistake. Why don't you just surrender yourself? But soon, an angry roar was heard. The one who spoke was the great elder of the Great Simplicity Nebula sect. Lin Ling and the rest stopped in their tracks. Instead of panicking, they sneered at the great elder. Sakura mocked, "Are you ordering us?" "Of course, I'm your great elder." "Great." The great elder seemed to want to flatter the Flame Emperor and the rest as he spoke with a dignified face. "Hee, why didn't I see you as the great elder in the past? Now that we're facing a great enemy, you're showing off your dignity as the great elder." Sakura's voice became even more sarcastic. This caused many people in the Great Simplicity Nebula sect to laugh sarcastically. In the past, the great elder was the most displeased with Lin Ling and the rest. He often targeted them and spoke ill of them. But now, he was treating himself as the senior of Lin Ling and the rest. How shameless was that? Not to mention Lin Ling and the rest, even the rest of the people in the Great Simplicity Nebula sect would not put such a great elder in their eyes. The great elder's face was gloomy as he shouted angrily, "Impudent! Sakura, do you know what you're doing? Go away. I'm killing you." Seeing this, Sakura did not waste his breath. He turned into a white bone giant and threw out a ferocious halberd, shattering the nearby sky. "How dare you!" That great elder had never thought that Sakura would make a move on him in front of so many people. Wasn't this making him lose face? Unfortunately, in front of Lin Ling and the rest, he was a shameless person. Therefore, after Sakura attacked, Meng Lu immediately attacked as well. The powerful force suppressed the great elder and forced him to retreat. He was so angry that smoke was coming out of his 7 orifices. Great elder. After the two of them attacked, Lin Ling also let out a sarcastic laugh. He stretched out his left hand and the roar of the dragon god sounded. Then, with a cracking sound, a huge 5-meter-long dragon bow appeared. Lin Ling quickly shot out an arrow. "You flatter others so lowly. Do you think others will treat you as a person? How sad. I'm afraid that even if you want to be a dog, others won't want you." 4 arrows followed Lin Ling's arrow and swept towards the Great Elder. The Great Elder's strength was not weak. However, he was facing the combined forces of Lin Ling and the rest. Especially Lin Ling's great calamity-destroying Sun Bao, which carried the might of the heavenly dragon protector. It was extremely terrifying. The Great Elder swept his gaze and could only look at the sky, hoping that someone would come to help. However, the experts in the sky were expressionless and no one cared about him. Everything was as Lin Ling said. Those big shots only came for Lin Ling. He was the Great Elder. To put it bluntly, he was indeed not qualified to be a dog. Sect leader, save me. Seeing that no one cared about him, the Great Elder cursed and panicked. Lin Ling, you dared to kill the Great Elder. That is a violation of the rules of Grand Simplicity Nebula sect. This is an offense against your superiors. Your sin can no longer be atoned for. The ancestor of Grand Simplicity Nebula sect shouted angrily. In fact, he had not expected Lin Ling to be so arrogant that he dared to kill the founding elder of Grand Simplicity Nebula sect in front of him. However, he did not dare to kill him. He had already sent Lin Ling and the rest out for the experts of Yen State to kill. Why should Lin Ling give him any face? To be honest, if it were not for Xingqiu Yun, Lin Ling would not care about Grand Simplicity Nebula sect at all. You're ordering me around? Hearing the words of the ancestor of Grand Simplicity Nebula sect, Lin Ling did not stop. Instead, he controlled the dragon god's arrow and attacked wildly. No. The Great Elder had to defend against the attacks of Sakura and the rest, as well as Lin Ling's dragon god's arrow. He could not defend himself at all. He could only see a huge dragon god roaring towards him. Rumble. Then, his entire body was penetrated by the dragon god's arrow and turned into ashes. This made Grand Simplicity Nebula sect fall into a dead silence. All the elders pointed at Lin Ling. Their eyes were red, but they could not say a word. Lin Ling had offended his superiors. Even if they wanted to exonerate Lin Ling had committed the greatest sin in the history of Grand Simplicity Nebula sect. On the contrary, the disciples of Grand Simplicity Nebula sect were delighted. That shameless villain was finally dead. Lin Ling, how dare you? Chapter 33-33. Reprimand. What? Do you have something to say? Lin Ling was still holding the huge dragon bow as he sneered at Patriarch Tai Yi. You can't escape the death penalty. Originally, you offended these big shots. I wanted to plead for mercy on your behalf because you are a disciple of the Grand Simplicity Nebula sect. But you didn't change your ways and committed a heinous crime. You have disappointed me. Ancestor Tai Yi said angrily. Ha! Hearing this, Lin Ling laughed loudly and raised the dragon bow in his hand. This time, he aimed at the other elders. The faces of those elders immediately changed. They were completely terrified. When Lin Ling defeated Jiang Wuxia last time, they knew that Lin Ling's strength ranked in the top 5 in the Grand Change Nebula sect. Therefore, they could not stop Lin Ling. How dare you? The Tai Yi ancestor roared again. Was Lin Ling going to kill someone in front of him? Whoosh! However, why wouldn't Lin Ling dare? When the Tai Yi patriarch had sacrificed Uncle Master he had severed all ties with Lin Ling. If he did not treat Lin Ling as one of his own, why should Lin Ling give him any face? The arrow blasted the ground, and a large number of elders were blasted into pieces of flesh and blood. There were countless casualties. Do you dare? Lin Ling wanted to tell the Tai Yi patriarch whether he dared or not. Lin Ling, I'm going to kill you and clean up the Great Change Nebula sect. The miserable state of the sect made the Tai Yi patriarch's eyes turn red, and his body trembled. Shut up. However, Lin Ling shouted angrily, Tai Yi patriarch, are you really the leader of a sect? You're indecisive, you're neither good nor bad, and you have no principles at all. Do you think that in my heart, you're a sect master? Let me tell you, you are nothing but a fart. Let's talk about the distant past. I fought with Jiang Wuxia, and I won. According to what you said, strength determines everything. But at that time, you were selfish and still sided with Jiang Wuxia. If you weren't afraid of becoming a laughing stock, I'm afraid you would have taught me a lesson long ago. Let's talk about the short term. In the face of a great enemy, you only know how to compromise with the enemy. Instead, you show off your might to your own people. If you don't take responsibility, can you still be considered a sect leader? How can the disciples of the sect trust you and tie their lives to the sect? Lin Ling's words were from the bottom of his heart. However, the people of the Grand Change Nebula sect secretly nodded their heads. Lin Ling's words had hit the nail on the head. You're talking nonsense. The Tai Yi Patriarch was even angrier now. Shut up. However, Lin Ling interrupted him again. I have to say that you are indecisive and will never achieve great things. Apart from these, you are also very stupid. First, you have already handed me over. These strong enemies want my life. How can you expect me to obey the sect's orders? Aren't you stupid? If we were in a different situation, would you obey the sect's orders too? Second, after you compromised with the strong enemies, you no longer have the final say here. You want to kill me, but I don't think you have the guts to do so. So, you still put on the airs of a sect leader in front of me. Aren't you stupid? You are even more stupid than stupid. I finally know why my master left. It turns out that you, as a sect leader, are simply not presentable. You can't do anything great. Sooner or later, the Grand Change Nebula sect will decline in your hands. Lin Ling's words were getting louder and louder. The Tai Yi Patriarch was so angry that he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Ever since he became the sect leader of the Grand Change Nebula sect, he had never been scolded by a disciple like this. Xing Shiyun did not dare, Jiang Wuxia did not dare, and none of the elders dared. However, the disciples of Xing Shiyun dared and scolded him happily. Compared to the anger of the Tai Yi Patriarch, the disciples of the Grand Change Nebula sect trembled and felt extremely happy. Lin Ling had said all the things that they wanted to say but did not dare to. It felt as if they were scolding the sect leader. After all, they had seen how Lin Ling had raised the flag for the Grand Change Nebula sect at Mount Heavenly King. Moreover, he was the #1 genius of the Grand Change Nebula sect. However, in the face of a strong enemy, the sect leader only valued himself. Coward, you'd better shut up. Lin Ling retracted his gaze from the Tai Yi Patriarch and walked down to the ground step by step. Although the Tai Yi Patriarch was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood, everything was as Lin Ling had said. In front of the big shots, he really could not do anything, nor did he dare to do anything. At this moment, he could only throw away all his dignity. However, he soon smiled coldly. Since Lin Ling was so arrogant, he could only wait to see how he would be killed. Junior Uncle He, I'm sorry to have wronged you. Lin Ling walked up to Junior Uncle He and slashed out with his sword. He severed the energy around Junior Uncle He and returned him his freedom. It's all right. Junior Uncle He's eyes were moist, but he shook his head immediately. You should leave this place and look for my master. Lin Ling said again. But Junior Uncle He knew that if he left, Lin Ling would be in danger. Junior Uncle He, you won't be of much help even if you stay. Instead, you will only distract Lin Ling. Why don't you leave first? Wangu Wuji said. In the end, Junior Uncle He hesitated for a long time before he left. No one cared about Junior Uncle He's departure. To the big shots of the 9 prefectures, Junior Uncle He was like an ant. The most important thing was the demonic sun. The people of the Great Simplicity Nebula sect looked at the departing Uncle Master He and then at the Great Simplicity Old Ancestor. They quietly compared the two and suddenly realized that if Lin Ling was the sect leader of the Great Simplicity Nebula sect, the Great Simplicity Nebula sect would be better off. At the very least, Lin Ling was someone who would take responsibility for his actions. At the moment of life and death, he would not abandon others for himself. Alright, what do you have to say? After Junior Uncle he left, Lin Ling looked at the countless experts in the sky. Demonic Son, please come with us. Golden Crow said with a smile after a long silence. What if I refuse? Lin Ling raised his head and said coldly. That's not up to you. Golden Crow was still smiling, but he also signaled to the experts around him with his eyes. Which one of you will go and catch him? Previously, he had seen Lin Ling's great calamity destroyer bow, so he was sure that Lin Ling was the demonic son. However, no matter how powerful Lin Ling was, he would not be able to escape today. After all, there were too many experts gathered today. However, if so many seniors went to catch Lin Ling and the others, it would be a blow to their prestige. Therefore, he asked the experts of the new Heavenly Court to take action. It was a good opportunity to raise the prestige of the new Heavenly Court and let the people of the 9 prefectures know that the new Heavenly Court was not weaker than the old Heavenly Court. The demonic son. Many people in the new Heavenly Court were eager to take action. The demonic son was the person who destroyed the gods. If they could catch him, they would definitely become famous. They would not miss such an opportunity. First Heaven Sage Realm. Someone said sarcastically. Although they knew that the demonic son was very powerful, his realm was still there. Therefore, they thought that the demonic son's strength was limited. I'll do it. Let's do it. Chapter 33-34. Fighting against an 8th Heaven Sage. This person's talent was at the pinnacle of the desolate body. His foundation was solid and his cultivation level was extremely high. However, just as he walked out, Sakura and the others also joined the battle. They transformed into white bone giants and tangled with that expert. Both of them chose to engage in close combat, and their battle was earth-shattering. However, Sakura's white bones were extremely sturdy, and he wasn't afraid of that expert at all. Let's see how many of you can block my attack. Go. The new Heavenly Court wasn't worried at all. Lin Ling only had a few people on his side. No matter how strong they were limited. More and more people joined the battle and they were all in the Sage Realm. As though they were afraid of being mocked, the martial ancestor realm experts were watching coldly. Meng Lu and Wangu Wuji also joined the battle. When Wangu Yixiong saw this, he also ordered the elders of his family to join the battle. They had to capture Wangu Wuji and the others. The battle in the sky became even more intense and it caused the entire flame state to tremble. However, many people weren't moved. Instead, they looked at Lin Ling. They knew that Lin Ling was the most important person. Golden Crow, let me deal with such a weakling. At this moment, a burly man walked out from the Golden Crow's side. He was 5 meters tall and his whole body seemed to be made of metal. He looked majestic. After seeing him, the Golden Crow smiled and nodded. At the same time, he reminded, be careful of his eyes and his dragon bow. These are his biggest trump cards. Golden Crow had used his heavenly eye to fight against Lin Ling's divine eye in the arena. As he had underestimated Lin Ling, he didn't gain the upper hand. Don't worry, senior brother Golden Crow. I will make sure that he can't fight back. The man smiled and nodded his head. However, his voice was as deep as thunder. Naturally, he had heard of the son of demon. However, strength was the only thing that mattered in this world. He was in the 8th heaven of the Sage Realm and he had the strength of a complete saint. His combat strength was so strong that he could defeat experts with the ultimate desolate body. In his opinion, Lin Ling was only so. Bang! He took a step forward and the sky exploded. The sound caused many people's hearts to tremble. It was a powerful force. 100 great bloodlines, 9 divine bloodlines. Some of the seniors frowned. They could see the man's talent. 9 divine bloodlines. 9 divine bloodlines were the strongest among the 100 bloodlines. He had once fought 3 great deities and he wasn't at a disadvantage. People with this kind of bloodline could attack and defend, and both of them had reached an extremely high level. Moreover, that man's cultivation was so much higher than the son of devils. Son of demon's son, I'll kill you. The man's voice was even more thunderous. His tall body seemed to have grown taller. At this moment, he lifted his black foot and stomped down hard on Lin Ling. With this stomp, a terrifying gravitational force erupted, forming layers of gravitational ripples that locked onto Lin Ling's body, making it impossible for him to escape. Boom! Lin Ling's eyes turned serious. 8th heaven of the Sage Realm. In terms of world essence, he is no weaker than me. Moreover, he has the strength of a complete saint. He has the power of heavens and earth. If I want to defeat him, I'll have to use the time and space divine steel and the calamity-destroying Sun Bao. However, there are so many experts in the new heavenly court. If I use my full strength on the first person, I'll definitely be at a disadvantage. Lin Ling didn't plan to kill his opponent immediately. Instead, he wanted to find an opportunity to deal a fatal blow. Currently, the outside world had a good understanding of his strength. However, there were a few things that they didn't know. First, his illusion god true inheritance. Second, his speed. Third, the limit of his physical strength. Speed was also Lin Ling's trump card. He had 190 world speed, which was unique among the Sage Realm. You want to kill me? Let's see if you have the strength to do so. Lin Ling held his sword and charged forward. He didn't use the demonic sword stage. Instead, he relied on his 5 dantians and physical strength. His godly demon body had 1,200 world strength, which was comparable to the strength of a dantian. Moreover, his defense was extremely strong. This meant that the heavens and earth heavens were fighting against a 6th heaven of the Sage Realm. Rumble. The heaven's foot and the tyrannical song sword confronted each other. Intense power surged in all directions. However, people saw that Lin Ling's sword couldn't cut open the heaven's foot. The heaven's foot was like a palm of steel. Moreover, it actually bent Lin Ling's huge sword. This situation was caused by the heaven's gravity stage. Moreover, it was the great perfection stage of gravity stage. Above his head, a powerful force attacked. Lin Ling knew that he couldn't meet force with force. Therefore, his left hand slapped the hilt of his sword. A powerful force formed and caused the sword to shoot up into the sky. Lin Ling erupted with 100 world speed and disappeared into the sky. The moment he left, the tyrannical song sword couldn't block the heaven's foot and was forcefully stomped down. Boom! The ground cracked open as if the heavens and earth were collapsing. Where do you think you're going? After the heaven's foot landed on the ground, the giant's palm suddenly enlarged and extended. He grabbed at Lin Ling fiercely. Moreover, the great perfection stage of gravity stage erupted from his palm as if he was trying to suck Lin Ling's body over. So powerful. This should be martial god Wen Tian's disciple. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Golden Crow was martial god Wen Tian's disciple and had the 9 great heavenly eyes of the universe. Moreover, the strength of the man he personally recognized didn't disappoint. He was simply suppressing the son of demon. Most importantly, although the giant looked burly, his speed and reaction were also extraordinary. Humph, son of demon. If it weren't for the other members of the God-slaying alliance, he would be nothing but a fart. Golden Crow's lips curled into a cold smile. He was extremely confident in his junior brother because he knew that his junior brother wasn't a human. He was transformed from a reverse refinement metal rock. According to legends, this metal rock was once bathed in the blood of a god. After being refined by blood for 80,000 years, it finally transformed into a human. Lin Ling wouldn't even know how to write the word death if he fought with him. Sword, come! Lin Ling roared. The sword that had been stomped to the ground earlier flew out and landed in Lin Ling's hand once again. This caused many people to exclaim in surprise. No wonder Lin Ling had abandoned his sword earlier. It turned out that he had borrowed the strength of the sword to temporarily block the foot stomp and escape from danger. However, just as Lin Ling held the sword tightly, the giant palm grabbed at him. From afar, it looked like a huge wall. Moreover, it was a black wall. Most importantly, the wall produced a terrifying suction force that caused Lin Ling's retreating body to rush forward. He's been caught. Many people shook their heads. A first heaven sage fighting an eighth heaven sage was simply not a match. World-devouring beast. However, just as Lin Ling was getting closer and closer to the palm, Lin Ling's pupils suddenly constricted. His body disappeared and countless black sludge appeared and swallowed the giant palm. Looking from afar, the surface of the giant palm was covered with a layer of sludge. It was extremely mysterious. Everyone exclaimed in surprise. The Tai ancestor was the same. This was the first time he had seen Lin Ling use the innate ability of the world-devouring beast. Chapter 33-35. A Fatal Strike. The man sensed that the power in his body was continuously disappearing. He let out a furious roar, shattering the clouds in the sky. The perfect gravity and gravitational force exploded, shattering all the black sludge. But soon, the sludge merged together once more. Moreover, in front of the sludge, a pitch-black man appeared. It was Lin Ling. Trash talent. Do you really think that you are immortal? The man sneered. After breaking the world-swallowing beast, his confidence increased. His body suddenly became bigger. He reached out his left hand and right hand. The scary thing was that his left hand had a strong gravitational force. It made the ground and the clouds sink. The gravitational force in his right hand caused the mountains and rivers of the Yen state to break and be sucked in. How terrifying! The crowd's hearts shuddered upon seeing this. That man's strength was most likely on par with a martial progenitor. Caught you! The man took a heavy step forward and pounced towards Lin Ling from the sky. He stretched out his left hand and the stairs of gravity appeared, locking down the area around Lin Ling. At the same time, he stretched out his right hand and the stairs of suction erupted, forcefully sucking Lin Ling over. It was obvious that he had unleashed all of his power, and this power was truly terrifying. Is it really impossible to win if I don't use my trump card? Looking ahead, Lin Ling thought to himself. He gave up on retreating. He held his sword and led the realm-swallowing beast forward. From afar, in the dark mud, Lin Ling looked like he had come from the darkness. He held his giant sword and attacked forward. It was a kind of pitch black, as if it could even absorb light. What's the point? Seeing this, the giant sneered. His giant palm attacked with enough force to topple mountains and overturn seas. Swoosh! However, at this moment, the sound of waves could be heard. The mud in front of Wuji started to disperse, as if ink was sprinkling down from the sky. It was terrifying. The ink also moved with Lin Ling, wanting to drown the giant. The giant also let out a furious roar, wanting to break through the darkness. This son of the devil is practically a world-swallowing beast. I have never seen such a talent before. The crowd was still shocked. However, they shook their heads when they thought about Lin Ling's opponent. Because Lin Ling's opponent was at the 8th Heaven Saint realm. The gap between their cultivation levels was too big. Lin Ling is actually so powerful. Jiang Wujie squinted his eyes, feeling extremely uncomfortable. Last time, when Lin Ling defeated him, he did not even use the realm-swallowing beast. This meant that he was not worthy of Lin Ling's attention. However, he quickly laughed again. So what if Lin Ling was powerful? He would still be shaken to death in the end. Crash! Under everyone's gaze, the two attacks collided violently. Darkness flooded the earth, while the giant's left hand controlled gravity, causing large amounts of mud to fall to the ground. His right hand controlled gravity, sweeping away all the darkness in front of him, clearing a path. Scram! He roared again and again. In your dreams. Scram! Lin Ling also roared. He controlled the realm-swallowing beast's body to swallow the giant. Gradually, the darkness drowned the giant as well. It was extremely terrifying because the giant could no longer be seen in the sky. Only endless darkness could be seen. Many people were shocked. Had Lin Ling finally succeeded in swallowing the giant? Scram! Scram! However, the darkness kept rolling, and angry roars could be heard from time to time. Obviously, the giant was resisting inside the realm-swallowing beast's body. 9 layers of attraction. An earth-shattering roar suddenly came from under the sky. Then, the earth of the Yen state roared and started to sink. The clouds in the sky and everything else were sucked into the earth. It was extremely terrifying. At the same time, circles of ripples spread out in the darkness. This was the great completion step of attraction. Boom! Then there was a roar, and the endless darkness was forced open. Sputtering in all directions, a burly figure walked out from within. Success! The sky became bright. Many people shouted excitedly. This was too exciting. This was definitely one of the most exciting battles in the Saint Realm. Lin Ling has lost. Then, many people looked at the sky. The son of the devil, who was only at the first level of the Saint Realm, could not win against Wen Tian Martial God's disciple. After all, Wen Tian Martial God was at the 8th level of the Saint Realm. The gap between their levels was too big. Demon Sword. However, while everyone was discussing, Lin Ling's expression remained calm in the sky. He raised the sword in his hand, and a blood-red light filled the air. Demonic chi surged out like a tidal wave, and it was deeply engraved in one's bones and heart. A bloody light appeared in the sky. It was ancient and distant, as if it came from the era of the gods. The entire Yen state suddenly turned bloody red. People could see that above the sky, a giant figure appeared. This figure was actually headless, but its fluttering robe gave people a feeling of fear. Huh! The giant did not expect that Lin Ling, who was struggling at death's door, still had such a trick up his sleeve. However, his mouth quickly cracked open. He could even break the realm-swallowing beast. Why would he be afraid of that stupid sword? Whoosh! The bloody sword arrived in an instant, cutting through the sky of the Yen state. What's the use of this? The giant let out a roar. Gravity and gravitational force combined to form a huge seal on his body, attempting to block the sword. Rumble. Boom. What was terrifying was that after the sword came, countless golden stars bloomed. It was like sparks were created when countless metals collided. In the end, fierce flames and thunder appeared. How is it? Countless people squinted their eyes. The battle in the sky was too dazzling. Ah! But in the next moment, the giant let out a loud cry of pain. His voice was so loud that it reached everyone's ears. After all the sparks gradually disappeared, everyone saw that Lin Ling's sword had pierced through the giant's chest. Moreover, he had pierced the center of the giant's chest. The strange thing was that this stab seemed to have a fatal effect. It had greatly reduced the giant's combat strength. Go to hell! The giant roared. His left and right hands clapped fiercely. He wanted to smash Lin Ling, who was in front of him, into a meat patty. This slap was like an endless river pressing down on Lin Ling. However, Lin Ling was still expressionless. He held the giant sword in his hand. He did not retreat. Instead, he stabbed forward. Through the previous battle, he knew that the giant's weakness was in the center of his chest. If he wanted to defeat him without exposing his trump card, he had to attack this weak spot. This son of demon is crazy. He is not stopping. Before, he used the realm-swallowing beast to swallow the giant. It looked like he was fighting back. In fact, everything was for this sword. This sword is the real killer move. Plus, his level power has reached 70%. I just don't know what level it is. I feel that the demonic aura is very thick. Many great beings frowned as they spoke. The more they fought, the more they realized that Lin Ling was not ordinary. Swoosh. Chapter 33-36. Glazed Light Chariot. Ah! With a final cry of pain, the giant finally became more than 5 meters tall, but his hands could no longer hit Lin Ling. Instead, he fiercely slapped his chest, because he knew that if he could not get rid of this sword, he would die, definitely die. Boom! Gravity collided with gravity, forming a huge impact. Finally, the giant was sent flying, and endless blood gushed out from his chest. Although he didn't die, it was clear that he had lost the ability to fight. Lin Ling had been completely defeated. Bang! After he crashed into the ground, he could only sit powerlessly and stare at Lin Ling with resentment. This was because he, an expert at the 8th stage of the Saint Realm, had actually been defeated by a junior at the 1st stage of the Saint Realm. Who is it that wants to capture me? Unfortunately, Lin Ling didn't even look at him. Instead, he looked at the expert in the sky. His eyes were cold and merciless. But the sky was completely silent. The Golden Crow and the experts of the new Heavenly Court looked gloomy. How could they lose? They wanted to use this battle to boost the prestige of the new Heavenly Court, but the result was that they were defeated. Most importantly, Lin Ling was at the 1st level of the Saint Realm. Alright. Seeing Lin Ling's great victory, Sakura and the rest's morale was also greatly boosted. Under their full strength, they also made their opponents constantly retreat. It was only a matter of time before they were defeated. However, the gazes of the crowd didn't land on Indra and the others. Instead, they were still looking at Lin Ling. The look in their eyes grew even heavier. The son of the devil was truly extraordinary. Especially the people from the Grand Change Nebula sect. They sighed in their hearts. If Lin Ling could survive, what heights would he reach in the future? What a pity, what a pity. The Tai Yi Patriarch's eyes flickered, and he suddenly felt as if he had lost something. Hee, I'm just relying on some insidious means. I can't be considered a martial artist. But soon, a sarcastic voice rang out. It was Jiang Wujie. Obviously, he felt uncomfortable when he saw Lin Ling's dazzling radiance. Jiang Wujie, let's fight. I'll give you a one-handed handicap. However, Lin Ling's gaze also fell on Jiang Wujie, but it was filled with a domineering aura. Me. Hearing that, Jiang Wujie's eyes narrowed, and he didn't dare to speak. Jiang Wujie, in terms of seniority, he's your junior nephew. It's very appropriate for you to capture him. At this time, an old voice rang out, mixed with a strong sense of authority. Many people looked over and found that the one who spoke was Flame Emperor. Me. Jiang Wujie said again, but he did not take a step forward. Jiang Wujie, the former number 1 genius of the Grand Change Nebula sect, doesn't seem to have the guts to fight. Seeing this, many people's eyes flickered. Jiang Wujie definitely did not dare to go up. Otherwise, he would not have hesitated so much. I'll give you a handicap of 1 hand, and then I'll give you 10 moves. Lin Ling looked at Jiang Wujie mockingly and made another move. Me. Jiang Wujie had already said "I" 3 times. That was because he really did not dare to go up. Trash. Lin Ling bellowed in disdain. In front of Yen State, he ruthlessly trampled on Jiang Wujie, this trash who had already lost his reputation. Jiang Wujie's face darkened when he was called trash. Alright, time is limited. Let's end it now. The martial god is still waiting. Elder Qing, go and capture him. At this time, Jin Wu spoke on behalf of the new heavenly court. Obviously, he did not want to waste any more time and asked a more powerful senior to take action. Of course, the real reason was that he could not see through Lin Ling. He felt that ordinary sages would simply return in failure if they tried to capture him. The new heavenly court talked about how mighty they were, but in the end, they still have to rely on the seniors to take action. Many people whispered. In their hearts, the new heavenly court was not as mighty as the old heavenly court. That's right. In order to save time, we have to take action. Some of the martial ancestor experts of the new heavenly court had already walked out. Seeing this, Lin Ling's face darkened. The last thing he wanted was to face a martial ancestor. That was because he was temporarily powerless against them. That was also why he did not use his full strength earlier. If he did, the new heavenly court would definitely send out a martial ancestor. However, he did not expect the new heavenly court to be so shameless. He had just defeated a sage and the new heavenly court had already sent out a martial ancestor. Son of the demon, you're so arrogant and arrogant. Let's see what you can do in front of me. The person who had walked out was an elder who was even more powerful than the Tai ancestor. As a result, no one was optimistic about Lin Ling. They knew that Lin Ling would definitely be captured. However, at this point, Lin Ling had no choice but to continue fighting. He also wanted to see how powerful a martial ancestor was. Martial ancestor, the ancestor of the martial Tao. It was said that all of them had grasped the power of the martial ancestor. Any of their techniques were incomparably powerful. The power of the martial ancestor was the origin of the martial Tao. It was the origin of all martial Tao. Let's fight. Lin Ling's body was boiling with battle intent. He had already decided to use his full strength. When the crowd saw Lin Ling's blue robe fluttering in the wind, their hearts continued to pound. They did not expect Lin Ling to have such a strong battle intent despite the huge gap between their cultivation levels. However, just as the old man was about to make a move, the sky suddenly became silent. A wave of annihilation, destruction, and annihilation quietly descended. In the sky, a dazzling light appeared, even more dazzling than the sun. Boom! Moreover, the terrifying thing was that the light appeared quickly and arrived quickly as well. A huge light pillar seemed to have come from the void and blasted the ground. Its target was the martial ancestor expert. Boom boom boom. The light pillar shot down and destroyed everything in its path. The martial ancestor's pupils constricted. He could not say anything. He only let out an anxious cry before he was completely destroyed. Moreover, the huge light pillar did not stop. It killed many people from the new heavenly court, the Wangu clan, and the flaming emperor. Finally, it reached the ground and pierced through it, forming a bottomless hole that seemed to lead to the underworld. Silence. The Yen state was dead silent. This beam of light was simply too terrifying. It killed the martial ancestor as easily as chopping vegetables. New heavenly court, Wangu clan, flaming emperor, do you have any shame? You have so many people to deal with one person, and you're using such an expert. I feel ashamed for you. Boom. The power of the light pillar was still sweeping the ground. However, a large number of people had already descended from the sky. They stood on a huge war chariot, which was majestic. There were countless illusory divine warriors around the war chariot. Several cannons were aimed at the people from the new heavenly court. The glazed light war chariot. Seeing this, Lin Ling could not help but laugh. This war chariot was the god's treasure that he had obtained from killing old demon in the heavenly king mountain. He did not expect the war chariot to be so powerful. It could kill martial ancestors as easily as killing dogs. Lin Ling was not surprised by the appearance of this group of people. God Slayer Alliance. Chapter 33-37. Besieging Lin Ling. The God Slayer Alliance was a rising force in the 9 prefectures. They had once slain gods and demons. Only true elites could join them. Many people had heard of this rumored God Slayer Alliance. However, not many people had seen them before. Today, they finally had the chance to see them. Young Master Yao of the God Slayer Alliance. The Golden Crow narrowed his eyes and looked at the sky coldly. Many experts had appeared in the sky. He could see that not only were there people from the God Slayer Alliance, but there were also people from the 9 prefectures, 10 evils and the ancient demon clan. If this group of experts attacked the Yen state, it would definitely be a catastrophe for the Yen state. At the same time, the Flare Emperor and the experts from the Wangu clan looked at the God Slayer Alliance. They knew that this force was not weak. God Slayer Alliance, we won't interfere in the matter between you and the new heavenly court. However, we only want one person today. After a moment of silence, the Flare Emperor spoke. Although he was not afraid of the God Slayer Alliance, it would be better if there was no battle. After all, the God Slayer Alliance was not to be trifled with. That's right. The Wangu clan is the same. We only want one person. If you agree, the Wangu clan will owe you a favor. Wangu Ishiong also spoke. Flare Emperor, the second-ranked God Emperor in the 9 prefectures. The Wangu clan has the support of the martial gods and is one of the top clans in the 9 prefectures. I, the young Master Yao, feel honored that you are asking me for a favor. On the majestic war chariot, the handsome and devilish youth smiled faintly. Then who do you want? Lin Ling. The Flare Emperor and Wangu Ishiong spoke at the same time. The Flare Emperor also said, if you agree, you only need to make a request of me. I can give you anything. Even if I don't have it now, I will definitely gather it within 100 years and give it to you personally. How about that? The Flare Emperor, the God Emperor of the Yen state. There was no doubt that he had treasures. Even if he did not have it, with his strength, he could find it in the 9 prefectures. Therefore, this was a huge favor. In addition, the Wangu clan's favor. This was something that they could not miss. However, young Master Yao laughed heartily. It sounds very moving. Seeing this, the Flame Emperor and Wangu Ishiong laughed. They were all big shots in the 9 prefectures. How could others miss out on a favor from them? It seemed like young Master Yao had agreed. But I'm sorry. We can talk about other things, but not this. However, just as they began to laugh, the young demon lord's smile faded and he suddenly spoke coldly. These words undoubtedly caused the Flame Emperor and the Flame Emperor's eyes to tremble fiercely. The God Slayer Alliance had actually given up on their favor for the sake of a son of the demon. The God Slayer Alliance had gone mad. This was because no matter how talented the demonic son was, he was only a saint. On the other hand, the Flame Emperor and the others were much more powerful than the demonic son. The two of them were not in the same world. What if we add in the favor of our new heavenly court? Meanwhile, the Sun Crow that had remained silent until now had spoken, and its words shocked countless people. The new heavenly court and the God-slaying alliance were enemies. This was something that everyone in the 9 prefectures knew. However, the new heavenly court actually owed the God-slaying alliance a favor for the sake of the son of the devil. From this, it could be seen how much martial god Wen Tian cared about the son of the devil. Perhaps Martial God Wen Tian could give up the entire god-slaying alliance, but he still wanted to capture the son of the devil. Martial God Qilin was killed by our god-slaying alliance. However, for the sake of the son of the devil, the new heavenly court actually temporarily let go of our grudge. How surprising. Hearing this, the young demon lord smiled faintly, but he still shook his head. Let's not talk about whether I will believe your words. Even if I do, I will not give up on the son of the devil because the son of the devil is the fourth leader of our god-slaying alliance. If he is captured, what's the point of our god-slaying alliance existing? The fourth leader? Everyone was shocked. The god-slaying alliance had 3 leaders, and each of them was highly capable and could rally hundreds of people. However, the son of the devil had now become the fourth leader of the god-slaying alliance. Moreover, it seemed like the fourth leader's status was higher than anyone in the god-slaying alliance. Glazed light chariot, prepare. While everyone was still in shock, the young demon lord waved his hand and the chariot shone brightly. A war that could destroy the flame state was about to erupt. Young demon lord, do you really want to fight? The golden crow and the others' expressions turned serious. The flame emperor said coldly, if we really fight, the flame state will definitely suffer a catastrophe. However, I can guarantee that the god-slaying alliance will definitely suffer great losses. Do you think I'm afraid of you? However, the young demon lord had already made up his mind. The god-slaying alliance had been in seclusion for a long time. It was time to stir up a storm of blood in the 9 states. Moreover, after killing Martial God Qilin, the god-slaying alliance had gone into hiding and bided their time. Now, their strength and influence had greatly increased. Especially after the trip to Heavenly King Mountain, more experts had joined them. After all, during the trip to Heavenly King Mountain, they had obtained Elder Demon's loot. This had caused their overall strength to more than double. Wait. However, at this moment, a cold voice was heard. The golden crow walked out and said, it's not time for the war between our 2 sides yet. Therefore, I'll give you a chance today. I'll send a sage to capture Lin Ling. What do you think? The new heavenly court hadn't gained a firm foothold yet. Therefore, they didn't want to see a head-on battle. Moreover, they felt that there were some ancient experts behind the god-slaying alliance. Therefore, if they really fought, it would be a war that would shake the entire 9 states. Hearing this, the young demon lord and the others frowned. Alright, I agree. However, soon, Lin Ling's voice was heard. Moreover, he nodded at the young demon lord and the others. He could sense that the new heavenly court didn't want to fight to the death. He also didn't want the brothers of the god-slaying alliance to sacrifice their lives for him. Therefore, he agreed to this request. Moreover, the most important reason was that once the war started, Martial God Wen Tian would definitely take action. Although Martial God Wen Tian hadn't shown up yet, Lin Ling knew that Martial God Wen Tian must have been paying attention to this place. Perhaps he was afraid of something, or perhaps he was waiting for something. Therefore, he hadn't shown up yet. Once Martial God Wen Tian arrived, the god-slaying alliance's fate could be imagined. In short, this war seemed simple. However, in reality, there was more to it than meets the eye. Son of the demon. When the young demon lord heard Lin Ling's words, he frowned. Don't worry. Although I'm in the first heaven sage realm, it won't be easy for a sage to kill me. Lin Ling nodded at him. In the end, the young demon lord agreed to it. Seeing this, the golden crow's eyes flashed coldly. He was obviously afraid of the glazed light war chariot. Therefore, it was best that Lin Ling agreed to it. Wangu clan, Sage Realm experts, step forward. Chapter 33-38. It's time for you to die. All of you, join the battle. The Flame Emperor also spoke indifferently on the other side. So many people. Many people were shocked and they saw a large number of Sage Realm experts walking out. New Heavenly Court. The Golden Crow sneered. Since Lin Ling dared to agree, he would teach him how to spell the word death. Let's fight. However, seeing this scene, Lin Ling also spoke without fear. As for Sakura and the others, at this moment, they also came to Lin Ling's side one by one, wanting to help Lin Ling. However, they were rejected by Lin Ling because Sakura and the others weren't comparable to Lin Ling. Lin Ling had 5 dantians. In terms of explosive power and endurance, he surpassed them. In addition to his strong physical body, Lin Ling would not die so easily. The same could not be said for Sakura and the others. If they were tired and used up their realm essence, they might die. You want to kill me? Come on. Lin Ling did not waste any more time. He waved his hand at the new heavenly court and ran away at a speed of 100 worlds. He did not want to leave the battlefield here. He wanted to use his full strength and did not want too many people to see his trump card. Trying to escape. Kill him. The Flame Emperor and Wangu Ishiong shouted coldly. A large number of Sage Realm experts chased after Lin Ling. I'm sorry, I'm also a Sage Realm expert. Meanwhile, the Golden Crow suddenly grinned as he spoke, and then he chased after Lin Ling. The Golden Crow was Wentian Martial God's disciple. If Wentian Martial God had taken a liking to him, his strength was not to be underestimated. Moreover, he had the ultimate desolate body and his cultivation level was much higher than Lin Ling's. If he attacked, Lin Ling would not be able to escape. Bastard! Young Beast Lord, Sakura, and Wangu Wuji cursed angrily. Don't be nervous, Lin Ling is actually so confident. He definitely has a way to deal with this. However, Yeshua consoled the group, allowing them to restrain their anger. Although Lin Ling's cultivation level wasn't high, everyone in the God Slayer Alliance had witnessed his miraculous abilities. Otherwise, the God Slayer Alliance wouldn't have made Lin Ling the 4th leader. Therefore, they should also believe in Lin Ling. The Golden Crow smiled sinisterly and slowly chased in Lin Ling's direction. He was not in a hurry. He would wait until the others were done killing. At that time, Lin Ling should be exhausted. People of the Grand Simplicity Nebula sect, cheer for me. I will definitely bring back Lin Ling's head and let the Grand Simplicity Nebula sect's name shake the Yen province. At this moment, Jiang Wujie followed after him. Go, Jiang Wujie. Seeing this, the Grand Simplicity Old Ancestor smiled. If Jiang Wujie was lucky enough to capture Lin Ling, it would be a great achievement. Moreover, even if he failed, the Grand Simplicity Nebula sect would at least contribute a lot in the process of killing the demonic sun. Brother Golden Crow, let me help you. Jiang Wujie quickly caught up with the Golden Crow and said with a smile. You are smart. If you have a part in capturing the demonic sun alive, when this matter spreads to the 9 prefectures, you, Jiang Wujie, will be a famous person in the 9 prefectures. The Golden Crow smiled faintly. Thank you for your kindness, Brother Golden Crow. Jiang Wujie was overjoyed. Currently, he was famous in the Yen province. However, he had a chance to wash away the humiliation and become famous in the 9 prefectures. The two of them walked side by side in the direction that Lin Ling had left. Stray dog. Jiang Wujie said with disdain. It was as if he had successfully hunted down Lin Ling by himself. He had completely forgotten that he did not even dare to fight with Lin Ling. At this moment, Lin Ling was flying across the sky in the distance. He did not explode with his maximum speed. Instead, he used the power of 100 worlds. The reason for this was to numb the Sage stage experts. After all, there were too many of them. If they really fought, Lin Ling was no match for them at all. He could only defeat them one by one. The sages who were chasing after Lin Ling were all above the stage 5 realm. Their speed was not slow. At their limit, many of them had the speed of 100 worlds. Demonic son, do you only know how to run? They looked at Lin Ling, who was running away in a sorry state, and the corners of their mouths curled up. They could see that Lin Ling had reached his limit. He did not dare to fight with them at all. He could only run away in embarrassment. However, Lin Ling's speed was not enough to shake them off. This made them feel more and more relieved. Of course, with so many sage stage experts chasing after Lin Ling, even if Lin Ling was the demonic son, he would definitely not be able to stop them. What a piece of trash. Let me play with him. Me too. These sage stage experts walked forward slowly. They were getting more and more unhurried. Some of them even took a big step forward and chased after Lin Ling. The people behind them were still not in a hurry. They would let these guys play with Lin Ling first. They would make their move after they had exhausted him. Someone has been fooled. Sensing that someone had left the group and was chasing after him, the sneer on Lin Ling's face deepened. He originally wanted to defeat them one by one, but he couldn't find a way to do so. In the end, those powerhouses had fulfilled his wish. Of course, he could understand what these experts were thinking. He was only at the first stage of the sage stage. No matter how strong he was, it was impossible for him to stop so many sage stage experts. That was why these fellows were so confident. Therefore, he slowed down a little. When the group of people got closer, he suddenly increased his speed again and fled towards the ground. Look at him. He's simply frightened. Seeing this, the experts behind him laughed mockingly. Lin Ling had become a frightened person. Lin Ling landed in a dense ancient forest. He raised his head and looked at the sky in the distance. When he saw that many sages were chasing after him, the sneer on his face deepened. Then, he disappeared into the forest. Do you think you can run away? The sage stage experts chasing after him were indeed powerful. It was as if they knew the power of the universe. Lin Ling had just disappeared and these people had appeared. Then, they took a step forward and the trees around them withered. One of the old men laughed coldly and slammed his palm heavily on one of the trees. Poof! That tree immediately spat out blood. Then, it turned into Lin Ling. The old man said disdainfully, "Do you think you can hide from me? You." Lin Ling's face was pale. He sat on the ground and looked at the old man respectfully. This made the old man even more proud. Demon King, don't kill him. Our mission is to capture him alive. In the distance, the sage stage experts said casually. Their faces were full of disdain. The son of a demon. He couldn't even withstand a single blow. The old man smiled and nodded. Then, he slowly walked towards Lin Ling. At the same time, he stretched out his palm. The power of water and fire intertwined. It was 100% of his cultivation level power. Let me burn your bones and freeze your meridians. The old man laughed disdainfully. Then, his palm landed on Lin Ling's body. Then, he looked at Lin Ling and screamed in pain. He couldn't help but laugh. He was extremely carefree. However, just as he was laughing proudly, he didn't see a ghostly figure behind him. At the same time, a sword slashed across. However, the old man was indeed a sage stage expert. He reacted at the critical moment, but it was obviously too late. He turned around and saw another Lin Ling. His pupils trembled violently. Chapter 33-39. One by one. A cold voice resounded in the forest. The old man could only see a resplendent blood-red sword slashing towards him. It was fast, incomparably fast. Most importantly, this sword was mixed with billowing demonic energy, as if it came from the era of the gods. Whoosh! His head flew up, killed by a single slash. He would never have thought that there would be two Lin Ling. Most importantly, he could not see through them even with his strength. Demonic Energy King. At this moment, the expressions of the other experts in the forest changed. They clearly saw that Lin Ling was severely injured, but why did another Lin Ling appear? Eye of the Storm. One of the experts shouted angrily, and his body shone with green light. Countless eyes appeared in the sky, as if they wanted to see through the real one in the forest. This was his talent, called the Eye of the Sorcerer God. Not to mention a mere clone, he could even see through a person's 3 lifetimes and 3 generations. It was extremely powerful. However, the countless eyes in the sky landed on Lin Ling, but they could not see through him. These 2 Lin Ling were real. How is this possible? The expert's expression changed. He was a 9th stage saint, and he had cultivated for more than 20,000 years. He had even spent 10,000 years comprehending the great Tao of the universe. He believed that he had seen through the great Tao of the universe. Kontong Zi, you can't see through him either. The others also felt that something was wrong. A 1st stage saint actually had such a technique? Oh no, look around. But soon, someone cried out in alarm, and there was a trace of panic in that voice. That was because more and more Lin Ling were walking out from all around them. Each of them held a large sword at an angle, and their eyes were extremely cold. The endless Lin Ling had actually surrounded them. Kill! With a furious shout, all of the Lin Ling moved, and they exploded with powerful realm essence. It was very real, as if every Lin Ling was the real one. Everyone, be careful. The experts in the forest shouted, and they wanted to rush into the sky, but they realized that there was a large number of Lin Ling in the sky. Swords come from the gods. At the same time, he swung his sword horizontally. Blood soared into the sky, and billowing demonic chi wreaked havoc in the entire forest. A large number of experts at the 5th and 6th heaven of the Saint Realm had perished under that sword strike. They were unable to block that strike, and it was also because they were unable to determine where that strike had come from. That was because all of the Lin Lings were brandishing their swords, and they looked extremely powerful. Actually, they knew that if it was a one-on-one battle, then Lin Ling was indeed capable of defeating a saint at the 8th level of the Saint Realm. However, the reason they were so confident was because they had the advantage in numbers. But now, this advantage of numbers no longer existed because Lin Ling had more people. Kill! Their angry shouts, mixed with a strong murderous aura, arrived again. Die! The remaining Sage Realm experts were all above the 6th stage and were even more powerful. They continued to attack and defeated Lin Ling one by one. These Lin Ling aren't as strong as I thought. Someone suddenly laughed. He realized that he had been tricked. Although there were many clones, their strength was not as powerful as he had imagined. Ha! That person seemed to have discovered this weakness, and he was extremely happy. However, at this moment, another sword strike came slashing at him. However, he also noticed it, but he laughed disdainfully. You still want to deceive me? He stretched out his right hand, and a mysterious incense burner appeared. The billowing green smoke turned into a huge green dragon. Watch me cripple you. That expert sneered. However, this sword strike was not something that he could block. When it came slashing at him, it cut his green dragon and even his incense burner. Swoosh! Moreover, the sword strike had cut him in half. This unforeseen event caused everyone's jaws to drop. Didn't they say that these clones were not that strong? Why was that person killed with a single slash? Could it be? Oh no, Lin Ling is hiding among them. Another person noticed something, and his face turned pale. This meant that among the countless clones, there was a real Lin Ling. They had all seen how powerful Lin Ling's sword was. Previously, he had defeated the successor of the 9th stage divine bloodline. Therefore, even though many of these clones were not strong, the real Lin Ling was hiding among them. It was impossible for them to guard against him. Go to hell. They could only continue to destroy the clones, but they also realized that even though the clones were destroyed, new Lin Ling were born one after another. Instead, in this process, their people were constantly being slaughtered. This made them feel like they were in a nightmare. These did not seem to be clones, because no matter how many clones there would be a moment when they would be exhausted. Unless this was an illusion. This meant that there was only Lin Ling in the forest, but they had all entered the illusion. They could not see where Lin Ling was, and could only see endless clones. This guy is still hiding such a trump card. I don't want to fight anymore. I have to join forces with everyone. One of the men wanted to retreat and return to the main group. However, could he leave? Since Lin Ling planned to destroy them one by one, he would definitely not let this group of people leave alive. At least before the main group arrived, he would eliminate them. As soon as the man finished speaking, the demonic sword killed him. It was impossible to guard against. It was too terrifying. Everyone, let's join forces and break out of this encirclement. Yes, if we don't leave, we will all die. We have been tricked. Lin Ling deliberately lured us here. Everyone was as if they were facing a great enemy. At this moment, they were very regretful, very regretful. Lin Ling was like a trapped beast. He could not escape death, but before he died, he wanted to drag them down with him. Go to hell. Go. At this moment, Lin Ling merged his 5 dantians and used his realm essence to kill the enemies. Rumble. In the huge forest, the tall trees were constantly being chopped down by the sword, and those people were working together to destroy the illusion. They couldn't affect Lin Ling at all. On the contrary, Lin Ling burst forth with 120 world speed and weaved in and out of their way. Time is getting shorter and shorter. We have to eliminate them as soon as possible. Kill. Lin Ling's face was cold. He knew that the longer this dragged on, the more disadvantageous it would be for him. Kill. Kill. He activated the demonic sword to the extreme and kept killing these Saint Realm experts. After a long time, the forest was a mess. Blood flowed like a river and a large number of experts' corpses fell on the ground. If the warriors of the Yen state saw this, they would definitely be scared out of their wits. Because these dead Saint Realm experts, if placed in the land of the 9 prefectures, were like gods. But now, they had become souls under the sword. Lin Ling, with his tired body, rushed into the distance again. A large number of treasures appeared in his hands. They were left behind by the enemies he killed. He had used a lot of realm essence in this battle. He had to rely on the treasures to recover quickly. Not long after Lin Ling disappeared, a large number of experts appeared in the sky. It was obvious that the main group had arrived. Someone suddenly joked, "These guys, don't tell me they killed the son of the demon." Yes. Chapter 3340. Whoever went would die. Something's not right. Let's go down and take a look. Go. The forest was too quiet. Many people sensed an ominous aura. Hence, they leaped down the forest. However, when they found their footing, their hearts began to tremble. The forest's ground had already turned blood red. All sorts of energy shockwaves swept across. Corpses that had been slain by swords were strewn across the ground. Demonic Force King. Not good. That's the Qingqing Xiong Wang. Why is he dead? Impossible. Among this group of people, there are 8th stage saints. Furthermore, with so many people joining forces, how could they all die? A gust of cold wind seemed to blow past everyone's hearts, giving them a strange feeling. Lin Ling had killed everyone by himself. And in such a short period of time. He even hid the great solar calamity destroying Bao and the God's Eye talent. Could it be these methods? Even so, he could only kill 1 or 2 people. But this is a complete annihilation. He must be hiding some other method that we can't see through. Chase him. Everyone lost their banter. They knew that things were not as simple as they had imagined. They immediately rushed out of the forest in a bid to find Lin Ling. This time, they wanted to surround and kill Lin Ling with all their might. However, just as they rushed out of the forest, above the sky, figures that filled the sky tightly surrounded them. These figures all held huge dragon bows in their hands, and the dragon god arrows were aimed at them. This caused the entire sky to be filled with dragon gods. Heavenly dragon guardians. Not good. He has been waiting for us. The expressions of the experts who were surrounded changed drastically. They had naturally heard of Lin Ling's method. It was said that it was one of the 8 divine powers of the dragon race. Although the dragon bow made them wary, they had the advantage in numbers. This was why they dared to chase after Lin Ling. However, they were surrounded by Lin Ling. Furthermore, they were all holding dragon bows. They could not tell which was real and which was fake. Perhaps, all of them were real. Run. I'm not fighting anymore. This arrow is very difficult to block unless we have an ultimate desolate body. That's right. The Son of Demon's boundary essence has always been very strange. It seems to be at the first stage of the Saint Realm, but the density of his boundary essence is comparable to the 6th stage of the Saint Realm. Coupled with the powerful dragon bow, it won't be difficult for him to fight someone 3 stages above him. Don't run, this will fulfill his wish. Everyone, work together to block this arrow. After this arrow, the Son of Devil will definitely exhaust his world essence. All sorts of voices continued to ring out as the experts started to panic. In fact, they didn't have the confidence to block Lin Ling's arrow, so they didn't want to be scapegoats and let the people behind them benefit. However, they each had their own ulterior motives, which was what Lin Ling wanted. After all, if they joined forces, Lin Ling did not know if the dragon bow could kill them. I'm not fighting. I'm not participating in this. Those who were running away were not stupid. Because they were from different factions, they could not guarantee that they would not be used as a shield at a critical moment. Bastard! Seeing that those who were running away only cared about themselves, many people started to curse. However, when they saw the countless dragon bows around them, they also had the intention to retreat. They were all thinking that as long as they avoided this arrow, Lin Ling would be captured without a fight. Then, why should they block this arrow? This also caused them to not be united at all, and they started to run in all directions. Now's the time. At this moment, countless Lin Ling's eyes were cold. All of his world essence and dragon bone power poured into the dragon bow. Then, the most dazzling arrow was shot out. 4 arrows intertwined, and the dragon god opened his mouth wide in anger, like a heavenly dragon protecting the Buddha god. Run! Sensing that terrifying power, the experts from all sides let out loud cries. However, they did not know where to run because Lin Ling was all around them, and they were all shooting arrows. They could only resign themselves to fate. This miserable appearance was completely different from the complacent appearance from before. However, some of the experts saw that there was no way to escape, and their bodies bloomed with dazzling light. They all erupted with powerful techniques to resist the huge dragon god arrow. Rumble! An arrow exploded in the sky, causing countless deaths and injuries. It was as if the dragon race had arrived. In the next moment, a large number of corpses fell from the sky. Everything was as they said. Without the existence of the ultimate desolate body, it was very difficult to block this arrow. Even if they were not killed by the power, they would definitely be seriously injured. In the end, although they were experts at the Sage Realm, they were not the top Sage Realm experts. Otherwise, they would not have obeyed others. However, their strength was not weak either. After colliding with the dragon god arrow, it formed a huge shockwave in the Yen state. After the shockwave erupted, it implicated a large number of people. No. Those who were running away were immediately swept up by the power if they were slower. Even sages would fall. As for those who were fast enough, they were seriously injured. As for the center, it was a catastrophe. Everyone died, including Lin Ling's illusion god True Inheritance's myriad transformations. At this moment it was all turned into ashes. Pfft. Lin Ling, on the other hand, spat out a mouthful of blood. It was as if he had been struck by a violent storm. Fortunately, his speed was not slow. After using the art of wind and rain myriad realms, his full speed was 190 realms speed. That was how he managed to avoid the greatest catastrophe of the Saint Realm. However, even though he had used all his strength to avoid the shockwave, he was still seriously injured. Of course, compared to the catastrophe behind him, he still felt that he had profited. Because of this collision, 80% of the Sage Realm experts had fallen. Rumble. In the sky, various powers were dancing wildly. Lightning, flames, ghostly aura, demonic aura, etc. There were not many Sage Realm experts left. At this moment, they were all hiding far away, looking into the distance with horrified eyes. Dead, they're all dead. An expert with a broken arm sighed. The outcome in front of him had exceeded his imagination. We've been tricked. If we had joined forces, that arrow would not have killed so many people. However, our strength was not united enough. After colliding with that arrow, the power was out of control. In the end, countless Sage Realm experts were implicated. The son of the devil, what he used before was an illusion. Because too many dragon bows appeared, it scared us. Damn it. The experts who had survived all said sorrowfully. They looked into the distance, but no longer dared to chase after him. The son of the devil was like a trapped beast. The strength that erupted before his death was terrifying. Whoever went after him would die. Who dared to do so? Rumble. Chapter 33-41. 9 Heavenly Eyes, Neptune's Eye. What's going on? The shock waves were still rolling, but soon, two figures arrived. It was Jin Wu and Jiang Wujie. They were obviously shocked. They didn't expect that capturing Lin Ling alive would cause such a terrible shockwave. Moreover, they felt uncomfortable when they saw that so many of those who were chasing after Lin Ling had died. Jiang Wujie sucked in a breath of cold air. Lin Ling was too scary. It's the son of Devil's Dragon Bow. Originally, the Dragon Bow was not so powerful. However, we added some power to it and caused the two powers to collide, resulting in such a catastrophe. An old man from the new heavenly court replied. Trash, he's only one person. Why are you panicking? Jin Wu's face darkened. It was not easy for the new heavenly court to accumulate such power, but it was destroyed by Lin Ling. At that time, he used some kind of martial arts to create a large number of clones. We couldn't tell the real one from the fake. The old man frowned and found an excuse for himself. Where is the son of devil now? However, Jin Wu did not intend to pursue the matter. Capturing Lin Ling was the most important thing now. Over there. Hearing his words, someone immediately pointed into the distance and said. Jin Wu immediately chased in that direction with Jiang Wujie. He looked back and saw that the saints from before did not dare to chase after them. Clearly, they were afraid. A bunch of trash. Jin Wu's lips curled into a disdainful smile. At the same time, he was mocking them for being stupid. Right now, Lin Ling must be exhausted and heavily injured. Whoever went to capture him would definitely succeed and gain a great merit. However, those people were scared. Wasn't this letting him off easy? Neptune! Jin Wu shouted. His eyes turned blue as the Neptune's eye of 9 heavenly eyes appeared. It was as if he could see Lin Ling in the distance. Then, he sneered, "Do you think you can escape?" Whoosh! Beneath him, an ocean suddenly appeared, carrying him and Jiang Wujie forward at a speed of 150 worlds. At this moment, Lin Ling was still moving forward. But soon, his speed became 100 world speed because his world essence was exhausted. He couldn't use the Windrain Myriad Worlds technique. They're catching up. At the same time, he noticed the two people chasing after him. In particular, the ferocious and flowing sea gave Lin Ling a huge sense of pressure. In the sea, he saw a pair of blue eyes staring at him mercilessly. The recovery speed of my boundary essence is not fast enough. Lin Ling continued to rush forward, continuously sensing the recovery of the spirit essence in his dantian. Although the recovery speed was not slow, he had 5 dantians, in addition to the fact that his opponent was very strong, so the recovery speed was not of much help. Son of Devil, where can you run to? Behind them, above the rolling sea, Jiang Wujie and the Golden Crow looked at Lin Ling with a smile, as if they were looking at a fleeing dog. They were very satisfied with this result. The previous sage expert had exhausted all of Lin Ling's strength and injured Lin Ling. Now, they could easily finish off Lin Ling. Martial nephew, you're bleeding. Jiang Wujie stroked his chin, a mocking look on his face. Little Kunlun. However, at this moment, countless black vines suddenly grew from the ground, turning this side of the sky into an ancient forest. These vines actually blocked the endless sea. He still has some tricks up his sleeve. Seeing this, the Golden Crow's expression turned solemn. Lin Ling was only a first heaven sage, but he had many trump cards. After killing so many sages, he still did not give up. Brother Golden Crow, these vines are quite powerful. Jiang Wujie said solemnly, no longer looking like he was joking. I know, but it's okay. These vines can't stop me. The Golden Crow nodded, his eyes shining with a strange light. Then, the entire sky was drowned by the sea, and so were the black vines. Needle in a haystack. The terrifying thing was that even though the vines were very fast, a current appeared beneath the Golden Crow's feet, easily carrying the two of them through the vines. Little Kunlun was useless against them. It could not restrain them. Splash! Furthermore, the ferocious seawater did not stop. With the speed of 200 worlds, it flooded the sky and drowned Lin Ling in an instant. The Golden Crow has the sea god's bloodline, and it has the ultimate desolate body. Lin Ling crossed the sea, but his speed was suppressed to 80 worlds. Moreover, he knew that Jiang Wujie's speed would increase again in the sea. Lin Ling had seen many sea gods' bloodlines, but this was the first time he saw one so pure and ferocious. At the end of the day, it was because the Golden Crow had the ultimate desolate body. Spacetime Divine Steel. Lin Ling knew that if this continued, he would definitely be caught. Therefore, his eyes bloomed with colorful flames. Rumble. The sea was immediately parted, and the ancient steel with colorful flames smashed towards the Golden Crow and Jiang Wujie. The Son of Demon indeed has the spacetime god eye of the 6 great god eyes of the universe. The Golden Crow's expression couldn't help but turn grave when he sensed the pressure from the sea. His talent was clearly weaker than the god eye, but his cultivation was higher and he was at his peak. Thus, he didn't fear the spacetime divine steel. Sea God's Eye. The Golden Crow roared, and a huge eye appeared in the churning sea, facing the spacetime divine steel. Rumble. Before long, the spacetime divine steel was sent flying, and even the flames dimmed significantly. Ha! Sensing this, the Golden Crow could not help but laugh, and once again chased after Lin Ling. Everything was as he had guessed. The spacetime divine steel could not suppress him. Son of Demon, your realm essence is not enough to control the spacetime divine steel. You can't escape. The Golden Crow sneered. Beside him, Jiang Wujie laughed again when he heard the situation. Lin Ling frowned and sighed inwardly. If he was at his peak, with the space-time divine steel and other trump cards, he might be able to kill the Golden Crow. Even if he could not, the Golden Crow would not dare to be arrogant. Unfortunately, he had not even recovered his realm essence. How could he be a match for the Golden Crow? You think I don't know just because you don't speak? Now, even Jiang Wujie can easily kill you. Seeing Lin Ling's silence, the Golden Crow sneered again. Brother Golden Crow, don't worry, don't worry. Let this stray dog escape. Perhaps he will have a mental breakdown. Beside him, Jiang Wujie took out a flagon of wine and poured a cup for the Golden Crow. You're right, you're right. The Golden Crow took it and nodded in satisfaction. The nearby area was covered by his talent. As long as Lin Ling was still in the sea, Lin Ling would not be able to escape his grasp sooner or later, so there was no need to worry. Chapter 33-42. His final trump card, the True Inheritance Dark Sword. Lin Ling also knew what the Golden Crow was thinking. He decided to slow down as well to save some realm essence in case of an emergency. There were only two methods he could use now. 1. The scabbard. Because of the scabbard, the headless old man would appear when he was on the brink of death. It might save his life, but it was also a gamble. After all, he was not familiar with the headless old man. After the headless old man appeared, Lin Ling would owe him a favor. If he could not find a new broken sword, the headless old man would definitely kill him. 2. The True Inheritance Dark Sword. It was a divine weapon. If he used it, he could definitely kill the Golden Crow, but he would have to pay with his life force. The last time he used it, Lin Ling had almost died. In the end, he was saved by Xiao Yu. This time, he might not be so lucky. Moreover, the True Inheritance Dark Sword was very important. If he used it, Martial God Wen Tian would definitely come immediately. He might even be waiting for this moment. At this rate, it will take a long time for my realm essence to recover to its peak. By then, the Golden Crow and the others would have already attacked me. So, I'll use the True Inheritance Dark Sword. The last time I used it, the side effect was huge. However, I was only in the half-step Saint Realm at that time. Now that I'm in the Saint Realm, and I've devoured many recovery treasures, maybe the side effect won't be obvious after a short time. Lin Ling thought quickly. How long do you want to run? At this time, the Golden Crow and the others had finished drinking and finally said coldly. Lin Ling, can you only run like a dog? Jiang Wujie sneered coldly. Hearing this, Lin Ling stopped and said indifferently, Run. When have I, Lin Ling, ever run from anything in my life? You can be stubborn. You're just a stray dog now. Do you have any other tricks up your sleeve? I can see that although you're recovering your realm essence, the pitiful amount you've recovered is not enough to fight me. The Golden Crow said disdainfully. He looked at the surging sea and suddenly said, Fine, I'll let you know the difference between us, Eye of the Sea God. Last time in the arena, because he had underestimated his opponent, his celestial eye had clashed with Lin Ling's God Eye and failed to gain any advantage. Thus, today, he wanted Lin Ling to die a clear death. A God Eye against a Heaven Eye was like an egg smashing against a rock. Brother Golden Crow, could it be that you still have some tricks up your sleeve? Seeing this, Jiang Wujie smiled excitedly. Of course, to be able to catch the eye of martial God Wen Tian, how could this be all I have? The Golden Crow said proudly, causing huge eyes to appear in the sea, as if they were the eyes of the sea god. Crash! Bang bang bang! Rumble! Then, a terrifying thing happened. Huge waves rose up from the sea. Then, huge shadows appeared in all directions, as if they had come from the era of the gods. When the silhouettes became clearer, Jiang Wujie's pupils trembled. There is a fish in the North Sea. Its name is Kuan. Because what appeared in the sea was an endless number of sea demons. It was a Kuan. A real Kuan. One had to know that the Kuan was a divine beast, also known as the fish of the North Sea. It only appeared in the era of the gods. In the current JoJo world, many people's martial arts could summon such divine beasts. However, they only had the appearance and not the real form. But what was in front of them was the real thing, absolutely real. That's right. These are reared by the sea god. They already have an endless lifespan and are being reared in a secret void in the JoJo world. Only my eye of the sea god can communicate with the sea, allowing these divine beasts to come. That mysterious sea is also called the Sea of Gods. The golden crow opened his arms. Behind him, countless huge figures gradually arrived. This ultimate desolate body is really terrifying. Lin Ling's gaze turned serious. He estimated that the golden crow's ultimate desolate body had reached the second grade. Even if it had not reached the second grade, it was very close to that boundary. A second grade ultimate desolate body could only be seen by Li Xiaoyao in his previous life. This was the first time Lin Ling had seen one in this life. As for the huge fish of the North Sea, they finally stopped. They did not devour Lin Ling because they had received the Golden Crow's orders. The Golden Crow placed his hands behind his back and said nonchalantly, "Now you know the difference between you and me. It's only a second-grade desolate body. I've already seen it. If you want to make me revere this ultimate desolate body, then don't even think about it. This is because a long, long time ago, I've seen an ultimate desolate body that was even more powerful than yours. And what you have is just an unorthodox method." Upon seeing this, Lin Ling said coldly. "Huh, unorthodox method?" Upon hearing this, the Golden Crow laughed out loud. Jiang Wujie, who was beside him, did the same. However, Jiang Wujie did not see the anger in the Golden Crow's eyes. This was because even though he had summoned the divine beasts, Lin Ling did not revere or fear them. Instead, he had a look of disdain. He felt like he had been humiliated. This is probably the first time you have seen a divine beast in your life. Following which, the Golden Crow said coldly. "Don't compare your world with mine. It's just a divine beast. It's not like I, Lin Ling, have never seen one before." Lin Ling shook his head. "Since you're so powerful, why don't you bring out the power of the era of gods and let me see it?" Upon hearing this, the Golden Crow did not speak, but Jiang Wujie said disdainfully. Lin Ling was at death's door, yet he was still being stubborn. "That's exactly what I was thinking." However, Lin Ling nodded. His dimensional essence hasn't recovered, but the strength of his fleshly body has long recovered. At this moment, an unending stream of life energy flowed towards the sword gate behind him, causing the black sword gate to vibrate. It was like a sealed item was silently awakening at this moment. Swoosh! A sword flew out and floated above Lin Ling's head, revealing its sharpness. "This is the power of God that you speak of." Upon seeing this, the Golden Crow and Jiang Wujie were stunned. Their laughter became even louder. They had seen that sword before. Although it was powerful, how could it fight against the fish of the North Sea? "You are indeed ignorant, but I can't blame you. In this day and age, other than me, no one else can control this sword. Well, I'll let you broaden your horizons." Lin Ling's expression did not change as he spoke indifferently. After he spoke, the sword gate behind him jumped even more crazily. A second sword flew out. The Golden Crow and the others frowned. 2 swords. No, this was not the sword that Lin Ling had been using. Lin Ling actually had other swords. Swoosh! However, the third sword descended. The fourth sword. The fifth sword. Gradually, there were 18 swords. These true inheritance dark swords hovered in the sky, cutting through the seawater and everything. A force that resembled the power of God permeated the air. It was as if the swords floating in the sky were not swords, but 18 gods. The power of God. Looking at the sharp swords in the sky, the Golden Crow and Jiang Wujia's eyes narrowed. They suddenly felt suffocated. Chapter 33-43. Burning Ultimate Desolate Body. This meant that those swords were divine artifacts. However, Lin Ling was only at the half-sage realm. How could he summon divine artifacts? One had to know that the Golden Crow could summon the fishes of the Dark North, but that was only a summon. It did not mean that these fishes belonged to him. This meant that he could not control the power of a god. However, Lin Ling could. How is this possible? How is this possible? The Golden Crow kept shaking his head. He suddenly felt that those swords were very familiar. Right, he had seen them with martial god Qilin. These swords seemed to be martial god Qilin's swords. However, his master, martial god Wentian, had once said that martial god Qilin could not control these swords, and neither could martial god Wentian. How can you control these swords? The Golden Crow could not understand at all. Because my world is not something you can understand. Lin Ling opened his arms as his long hair danced in the seawater. The 18 swords spewed out intense sword beams that slashed the surrounding seawater. Go! As Lin Ling pointed, the 18 swords appeared and slashed at the fishes of the Dark North. Clanging sounds could be heard as the massive fishes of the Dark North let out a sound that seemed to be a painful roar. Following that, blood began to dye the seawater red, blocking all vision. Not long after, the seawater emitted explosive sounds as though the fishes of the Dark North had begun to retreat. When the seawater gradually became clear, the Golden Crow and the rest saw the endless fishes of the Dark North floating in the seawater. There were countless sword wounds on their bodies. The fishes of the Dark North had also been killed. As for the other fishes of the Dark North, they had clearly retreated. Son of the demon, how about we end today's matter here? The Golden Crow's expression turned grave. He had underestimated Lin Ling. He did not expect Lin Ling to have such a trump card. Furthermore, he wanted to tell his master that the true legacy dark sword was with the son of the demon. End here? Lin Ling frowned. He had to pay with his life force to activate the true legacy dark sword. Now, the Golden Crow wanted to end it here. Did the Golden Crow think Lin Ling was a fool? If he could kill them, he would kill them. If he couldn't, he would stop here. I have the 9 heavenly eyes. If we really fight, it'll be a strenuous and unrewarding task for you. Furthermore, I can see that you need to pay a price to activate these divine swords. Therefore, we both take a step back. This is the best choice for you. The Golden Crow said again and stepped back quietly. If that's the case, then I have to thank you. However, my choice will not change. With a wave of his hand, Lin Ling controlled the 18 true inheritance dark swords and shot them at Jin Wu. Jin Wu and Jiang Wujia's expressions changed drastically. It seemed that Lin Ling was determined to kill them. Add to the sea house. The Golden Crow immediately roared angrily. He opened his hands and controlled the endless sea to sweep the 18 true inheritance underworld swords. A portion of the sea water was drawn from the divine sea. A drop was as heavy as a mountain, not to mention that there was so much of it here. Crash! Crash! The sea water formed waves that looked extremely powerful. However, when the 18 true inheritance dark swords appeared, they slashed crazily as though 18 sword gods were brandishing their swords at the same time. The sea water was sliced apart into chunks that floated in the sky like huge ice cubes. What? The Golden Crow let out a horrified cry. His ultimate desolate physique was so weak. He suddenly regretted it. He should have killed Lin Ling from the beginning. He should not have given Lin Ling any chance. He should not have summoned the northern sea fish to make Lin Ling revere and fear him. This was because at that time, Lin Ling had also summoned the divine swords. Seeing the 18 sharp swords approaching, the golden crow's eyes constantly flickered. Jiang Wujie, who was beside him, was scared out of his wits. If he knew this would happen, he would not have followed. Son of demon, I'm heaven-seeking martial god's disciple. Do you really dare to kill me? The sea water beneath the golden crow's feet tumbled as he constantly retreated. At this moment, he no longer had the desire to capture Lin Ling alive. He only wanted to leave this place immediately and let his master or the new heavenly court's martial ancestor take action. He knew that he was no match for Lin Ling. It sounds scary, but I'm still going to kill you. Lin Ling moved with the 18 swords. He was as powerful as a sword as he forced the golden crow. If you kill me, you won't be able to live either. The golden crow was still retreating as he spoke solemnly. However, Lin Ling sneered, what a joke. If I don't kill you, do you think the new heavenly courts will let me off? You should keep such self-deceiving words to yourself. These words let the golden crow know that Lin Ling was determined to kill him. There was no way to stop him. Leave immediately. The golden crow did not waste any more words. He stepped on the sea and fled into the distance. You said before that I was running away. What are you doing now? Lin Ling's brows twitched when he saw this. A true inheritance, the nether sword, floated down and landed below his feet. He rode on the sword and chased after the golden crow. His speed had long since surpassed the golden crow by several times. In the blink of an eye, Lin Ling appeared before the golden crow and the golden crow. He stepped on his flying sword and was as graceful as an immortal. His eyes were filled with an unwavering murderous intent. They were cold and emotionless. What? The golden crow looked at the cold man in front of him as his heart thundered. Lin Ling was too fast. The golden crow, you didn't expect to die here, did you? You brought the new heavenly courts, the godly escort mansion, the flame emperor, and other experts to capture me. You thought that everything was under your control and that killing me would be as easy as flipping your hand. However, you didn't expect me, the son of demon, to have such a trump card. Lin Ling coldly stared at the golden crow. With a single thought, the 17 swords pointed towards the golden crow. The aura of these swords was even more terrifying than the scabbard. If the scabbard was filled with murderous intent and evil energy, then these swords could only be described with one word, sharp. Incomparably sharp. I really didn't expect this. The golden crow gritted his teeth after hearing Lin Ling's words. He really didn't expect this. If he knew all of this, he definitely wouldn't have come. Now that you know, die for me. Lin Ling's murderous intent surged. He controlled his sword to kill the golden crow like a supreme sword god. In your dreams. However, since the golden crow was able to become the disciple of the martial god, he was definitely not a pushover. He roared and caused the ocean around him to boil. Then, a blue flame spread out and actually burned the ocean. A mysterious eye also appeared and stared at Lin Ling like a god's eye. This was the real Neptune's eye. Moreover, the eye of the sea god had actually started burning, and it was providing an extremely primal force. You want to kill me? Dream on. The moment the force was released, the golden crow's aura increased greatly. He knew that Lin Ling's activation of the divine sword would definitely have side effects. As for him burning the Neptune's eye, it was the same. The price was burning his ultimate desolate body. Hence, it all depended on who would fall first. This golden crow is really an expert that cannot be underestimated. No wonder the martial god Wentian took a fancy to him. Chapter 33-44. Heaven-seeking martial god. To put it bluntly, this was also a mindset of cutting off all means of retreat. As for the golden crow, he had such a mindset. Succeed or die trying. However, could burning the ultimate desolate body block the legacy dark swords? Shoo! 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 The 18 legacy dark swords attacked in a dazzling manner. They slashed apart the surrounding sea and shot towards the sea god's eye in front of the golden crow. Walala! Before they even got close, the 18 legacy dark swords began to burn. They were being burned by the strange flames. Upon seeing this, the golden crow finally smiled. This was because the sea god's flame was said to be a flame from the core of the divine sea. It had the dual attributes of water and fire, and was the absolute power of the divine sea. Lin Ling's swords would definitely be burned to ashes. Crackle. However, at the next moment, the 18 dazzling flaming swords shot out. They carried the mysterious sea flames and penetrated the sea god's eye. What? The golden crow immediately sensed that he had lost contact with the sea god's eye. This meant that his ultimate desolate body had been completely destroyed. He was completely dumbfounded. The ultimate desolate body was not something one could easily see in the yen state, but now, it had been destroyed. Son of the demon. The golden crow let out an angry roar. He felt as though his heart was being stabbed. Don't be so angry, because you will die with the sea god's eye. However, Lin Ling let out a cold roar. He activated the 18 legacy dark swords and shot them at the golden crow. They penetrated his body and were unstoppable. To my legacy dark swords, your ultimate desolate body is nothing. The golden crow spat out blood as he heard Lin Ling's cold voice. He slowly fell to the ground as his eyes stared at Lin Ling. He died with grievances. He never expected that he, who was invincible in the sage realm, would be killed by the son of the demon, who was only at the first heaven of the sage realm. Suddenly, he understood why the son of the demon had agreed to his request so readily. The son of the demon wanted to wipe them all out. Unfortunately, he understood it too late. Jiang Wujie, where do you think you are going? Lin Ling sensed that the life force in his body was disappearing faster and faster, but he immediately looked to the other side. At this moment, Jiang Wujie maintained his posture of running away, but he did not dare to move. His forehead was full of cold sweat. He knew that he really shouldn't have come. Lin Ling, spare my life. He quickly turned around and knelt down in the air. I will. Of course, we're from the same sect, so of course I won't kill you. Lin Ling stepped forward and stood in front of Jiang Wujie. Even though he was extremely weak, Jiang Wujie did not dare to resist. Lin Ling's 18 swords had already made him lose the will to fight. As long as you don't kill me, I'll be your slave, your servant. Spare me, spare me. Jiang Wujie kept kowtowing. The former number 1 genius of the Grand Change Nebula sect had ended up in such a sorry state. I want you to be my slave. Lin Ling used the remaining Jia Yuan in his dantian and drew a boundary seal in the air. Then, he looked at Jiang Wujie with a faint smile. Let go of your soul. I'm going to plant a slave boundary seal in your soul. This. Jiang Wujie naturally knew what a slave boundary seal was. You won't. However, Lin Ling's eyes turned cold. He stared at Jiang Wujie and made him nod immediately. Although he wanted to become Lin Ling's slave and let Lin Ling easily control his life and death, if he refused, he would die now. One choice was to die now, and the other was to become a slave. As long as he was not a fool, he would choose the second choice. At this moment, he felt more regret than the golden crow. He was even more certain that he should not have come. Bang! Lin Ling slapped Jiang Wujie's chest and planted a slave boundary seal in his soul. Then, he strode away and said, bring the golden crow's body back. Yes. Jiang Wujie felt a strange feeling in his soul. He could not think of resisting Lin Ling. Even his thoughts were clear to Lin Ling. This made him realize that he had completely become Lin Ling's slave. With mixed feelings, he carried the golden crow on his back and disappeared into the distance. As for Lin Ling, he put away the true inheritance dark sword. His entire body immediately felt weak, as if he would fall into a deep sleep at any moment. This made him quickly take out all the treasures he had on him, refining them as he left to replenish his vitality. Compared to the last time, the side effects this time were indeed much smaller. However, if he had wasted more time, Lin Ling would be in more danger. Moreover, he was very weak now. Any cultivator could easily kill him. The Yen state is full of people from the new heavenly court. Before they get the news, I have to leave immediately. Otherwise, when they catch up, I will not be able to fight back. Lin Ling thought to himself. However, at this moment, he felt a strange fluctuation coming. The next moment, a palm landed on the sword gate behind him. Who are you? How can you control the true inheritance, the dark sword? This fluctuation came without warning. Lin Ling could not detect it at all. Moreover, if the other party wanted to kill him, he could do it without anyone noticing. Lin Ling was shocked, but he quickly reacted. He quietly turned around and saw a tall man standing behind him. He was wearing a large blue cloak, which made it impossible to tell whether he was fat or thin. However, judging from the width of the cloak, this person's shoulders were very broad. Moreover, not only was his face long, but it was also somewhat thin. This gave him a cold and bone-chilling feeling. The most attractive thing was his eyes. They revealed a light that was indifferent to life and death. However, Lin Ling recognized this face. Moreover, he would recognize it even if it turned into ashes. This was because this man was from the Tianwen Valley. He was also the son of martial god Qilin, martial god Wentian. Do I know you? The man held the sword gate in his hand and suddenly said in a low voice. Lin Ling's eyes were very cold. Although he suppressed it well, his heart was still burning like a volcano when he met his enemy from his previous life again. It felt as if everything that had happened in his previous life had just happened yesterday. Every bit of it was engraved in his heart. The small valley in the past, the laughter that stood aloof from worldly affairs, and later, his physical body was taken away, his talent was taken away, and everything was taken away. All of these were the motivation for Lin Ling to become stronger. This is the first time we've met. Lin Ling said with a smile as he suppressed the killing intent in his heart. His words indicated that this was the first time they had met in this life. The man still looked at Lin Ling indifferently. His eyes seemed to be able to see through everything about Lin Ling. He thought of the space-time divine steel, which was a technique that his benefactor once used. Then, he thought of the true inheritance, the dark sword. Do you know Li Xiaoyao? The man suddenly laughed. No, I don't. Lin Ling laughed again. Oh. Chapter 33-45. Clash of Gods. Would you like to come with me? The man put away the true inheritance nether sword and smiled again. However, his amiable tone told Lin Ling that if he left, Lin Ling would definitely die. However, he did not seem to have the strength to fight back. It's not good to take other people's things. At this moment, a lazy voice was heard. An old hand appeared behind Wentian martial god and grabbed the sword gate. Then, a mysterious man wearing a large cloak walked out of the void. This sudden change shocked Lin Ling and Wentian martial god. Especially Wentian martial god, he felt that this person was stronger than him. Wentian martial god was shocked. In the land of the 9 continents, he was one of the 10 martial gods. Someone stronger than him appeared in the 9 continents. This person could only be one of the 4 legendary gods. However, why would the 4 gods appear here? My sister is Tian Liuli. Wentian martial god said calmly, as if he had mentioned it on purpose. What does that have to do with me? However, the mysterious man replied with a smile. Wentian martial god frowned. From this sentence, he could tell that the mysterious man was not one of the four gods. Because, if the four gods heard the name Tian Lioli, they would definitely give him face. Little guy, I admit that you're strong. However, if we really fight, you'll be the one at a disadvantage. The mysterious man said calmly. Although his tone was calm, it carried a domineering aura. That might not be the case. Wentian martial god stared at the sword gate in the mysterious man's hand. His eyes flickered. Clearly, he was not willing to give it up. Then you can try. The mysterious person shrugged. This action caused martial god Wentian's expression to turn cold. He just stared at the mysterious person without saying a word. At this moment, the world fell silent. The two of them looked at each other quietly. It seemed like they did not make a move. However, Lin Ling knew that they were secretly fighting. Perhaps they were testing each other's auras. Alright, I'll give you face. After some time, a gentle breeze blew by, causing martial god Wentian's hair to flutter. He smiled and left as if he was just a passerby. However, the mysterious man didn't say anything. He just stood quietly in the sky. Time passed like an hourglass. After Wentian martial god disappeared completely, the mysterious person still didn't move, and Lin Ling didn't move either. However, in the next moment, a rumbling sound was heard, as if countless bombs had been ignited. Boom! The ground of the entire Yen state cracked open. Cracks also appeared in the sky. Even the faraway Grand Change Nebula sect and various places in the Yen state could see the ground of the Yen state cracking open. The shattered sky fell to the ground like glass. Countless plants withered. Many demonic beasts and living beings in the Yen state knelt on the ground, their bodies trembling. Roar! After these terrifying changes, a huge ferocious demon head suddenly appeared in the sky. It was impossible to tell what kind of divine beast this demon head was, but it opened its huge mouth and roared at the Yen province. How terrifying! Rumble! The rumbling sound was transmitted into Lin Ling's ears. He felt that this was the first time Li Xiaoyao had heard such a sound. So powerful. Even if I was in my previous life, I'm afraid I wouldn't be a match for this mysterious person. Lin Ling was shocked. Was this the power of a god? One should know that the two of them didn't even fight before. It was just a clash of auras. However, the aura alone almost destroyed the Yen state. What if it was a real battle? The result would be unimaginable. Lin Ling didn't expect the mysterious person to be so powerful. Moreover, Wentian martial god didn't seem weak either. It seemed that when Li Xiaoyao reincarnated, Wentian martial god and the other's strength had greatly increased. It was a pity. If Li Xiaoyao still had this power, he would have become a god. Pfft. While Lin Ling was still in shock, the mysterious person suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. This shocked Lin Ling. Was the senior injured? I'm fine. If I hadn't fought with that old man for a few years and got injured, that little guy wouldn't have been able to hurt me. However, the mysterious person waved his hand and smiled. Moreover, that little guy is even worse than me. Everything was as he said. When Tian martial god was walking forward in the distant sky, blood continued to drip from the corner of his mouth onto the ground. His face was deathly pale. Blood continued to drip from the sky, causing a bloody path to appear on the ground. Although it wasn't obvious, it was as dazzling as a blooming flower. If an ordinary person obtained this blood, they would be able to reach the heavens in a single step and become a peerless expert. This was the blood of a martial god. When Tian martial god was one of the top 10 martial gods in the 9 continents. He was injured, and it wasn't a light injury. I am Wen Tian. I can ask the heavens for 10,000 years, but I still can't touch the heavens. Just how many experts were hidden in the firmament of the 9 prefectures and the void of the universe? When Tian marshaled God, he realized that the secrets left behind by the era of gods weren't as simple as he thought. In the end, he also disappeared from the Yen state. At this moment, Lin Ling looked at the mysterious person and asked worriedly, "Senior, are you all right?" "I'm fine. But we have to leave immediately." "Yes." The mysterious person still waved his hand. He stretched out his right hand and formed a huge water droplet that enveloped Lin Ling. Then, he took Lin Ling and disappeared from the Yen state. Not long after, 2 figures mysteriously appeared in the sky. It was Lin Ling and the mysterious person. The water droplet outside Lin Ling's body exploded, causing him to look at the mysterious person in shock. "You kept your promise." "Yes." The mysterious person suddenly smiled and took off his hat, revealing an old face. Although this face was somewhat dignified, it gave Lin Ling a sense of familiarity. "Treasure God Nanwu Fengyu?" "Yes." Lin Ling's pupils constricted. Of course it's me. If Xiaoyu didn't ask me for help, I wouldn't have been able to rush over." "Senior." The old man looked at Lin Ling with a smile. Lin Ling quickly bowed because this senior had saved him twice, including last time. Moreover, he already knew that Nanwu Fengyu was very powerful but didn't expect him to be this powerful. "When did you offend when Tian marshaled God?" "Although this guy is no match for me, he has a pretty good relationship with one of the 9 continents' 4 great gods." Nanwu Fengyu asked. "It's a long story. I can only say that in this land of the 9 continents, there will be no one else." Lin Ling shook his head and didn't mention Li Xiaoyao's matter. Even though Nanwu Fengyu was familiar with him and was extremely powerful, Li Xiaoyao's matter was no small matter. To avoid unnecessary trouble, Lin Ling didn't want to mention it. Chapter 3346. The Great Nether Wind Dragon. "You killed martial god Qilin too?" Nanwu Fengyu asked again. The news had spread throughout the 9 continents, so he had naturally heard about it. He was a little surprised. Although he had never met martial god Qilin, he knew that martial god Qilin deserved to be one of the top 10 martial gods of the 9 continents. Lin Ling nodded. "It's really you." Nanwu Fengyu gasped. He sized up Lin Ling as if it was the first time he had met Lin Ling. He had never thought that the kid he had saved in the ancient Forbidden Forest would have such power. "I didn't deal with it alone. It was the entire God Slayer alliance." Lin Ling explained with a smile when he saw Nanwu Fengyu's surprised look. "Even so, you're still very powerful. It seems that I've underestimated you." Nanwu Fengyu shook his head. He had a feeling that this kid might be able to change the situation of the 9 continents. "I have the soul of the great nether wind dragon. It's useless to me. Since you've seen it, I'll give it to you." Nanwu Fengyu stretched out his right hand and held a small green dragon in his palm. The dragon was covered in layers of wind vortexes. It looked extremely magical. "Dragon God." Lin Ling's expression changed. He sensed that it was the true dragon god of the dragon tribe. Although it was not as powerful as his sky dragon, it was still extremely rare. He had dragon bones and cultivated the divine ability of the dragon tribe, so his bones were a sky dragon. What if he obtained the soul of the wind dragon? I got it from that old man. In fact, it was his mount. It was a mutated dragon god of the dragon tribe. However, a mere wind dragon of the dragon tribe dared to stop me, so I killed it. Nanwu Fengyu smiled and explained it as if it was a simple matter. However, Lin Ling knew that the intensity of the battle would be unimaginable. After all, the fact that the other party could use the great nether wind dragon as his mount proved something. "Thank you, senior." Lin Ling was not pretentious and hurriedly took it. Treasure god Nanwu Fengyu smiled after seeing Lin Ling accept the treasure and said, "Then I'll leave Xiaoyu in your care." "Senior, don't tell me you don't plan to come back." Seeing this, Lin Ling was a little surprised. "My old enemy isn't dead yet, and he knows that I've come out of Jojo. He'll definitely keep an eye on me, so if he knows about you and Xiaoyu, he'll definitely attack you. You and Xiaoyu will stay away from me, it'll be safer." Nanwu Fengyu nodded and gazed into the distance. Lin Ling knew that this senior's opponent was absolutely no small matter. "Alright, I'll make a move first. Once you've recovered, go pick up Xiaoyu." Treasure god Nanwu Fengyu didn't seem to want to stay here for too long. After tearing open the void, he entered and disappeared without a trace. Great Nether Wind Dragon. On the other hand, Lin Ling looked at the azure dragon in his hand, his eyes shining with excitement. After experiencing this, he knew that he was still very weak, so he was eager to improve his strength. The great Nether Wind Dragon could make his fifth Dantian no longer an attributeless Dantian, and his talent would be greatly improved. He never expected that this pursuit by the new heavenly court would turn out to be a blessing in disguise. He didn't know whether to thank the Golden Crow or not. After all, if the Golden Crow hadn't brought the experts from the Yen state, Lin Ling would still be in the Grand Change Nebula sect, and none of this would have happened. If I refine this great Nether Wind Dragon into my fifth Dantian, my strength will definitely improve again. Lin Ling's gaze fell on the myriad realms. He randomly found an ordinary realm and hid in it to cultivate. At this moment, the Yen state was still rumbling. The earth was breaking, and the sky was crashing down. It was like a catastrophe in the human world. Such power was something that many warriors had never seen in their lives. Their faces were extremely pale. It's just a pursuit of the son of a demon. Why did such a big thing happen? In the sky of the Grand Change Nebula sect, many people were still waiting for the result, but they were beginning to feel uneasy. This has nothing to do with the son of a demon. It's two different things. Maybe he just happened to encounter experts fighting. Wangu Ishiong said coldly. His words made many people nod. It made sense. After all, the son of a demon couldn't trigger such power that almost destroyed the Yen state. I guess the son of a demon must have been caught. Someone else said. It was an expert from the Divine Escort Mansion. Definitely. The son of a demon risked his life and took away the lives of many saints. However, the Golden Crow and the others have made their move. The exhausted son of a demon definitely can't block the Golden Crow's attack. Are you crazy? Even if the son of a demon was at his peak, he wouldn't be a match for the Golden Crow, let alone when the son of a demon is a dead dog. Your Excellency's analysis is right. I was wrong before. Everyone laughed. They didn't think highly of Lin Ling at all. They were all waiting for the Golden Crow to return and drag the son of a demon back like a dog. He's back. At this moment, someone suddenly shouted. The entire sky and earth fell silent as countless eyes looked into the distance. In the distant sky, a figure was quickly flying over. Moreover, he seemed to be carrying someone on his back. Caught him. Seeing this, many people's eyes lit up. The Divine Escort Mansion, the Wangu clan, the new Heavenly Court, and the Flame Emperor nodded in satisfaction. That looks like Jiang Wujie. Someone else said. As the figure got closer, the Tai ancestor couldn't help but laugh excitedly. So many people had gone to catch the son of a demon, but only 2 people had succeeded. One of them was Jiang Wujie of the Tai Nebula sect. How could he not be happy? However, Jiang Wujie, who was walking forward, was silent and didn't say a word. Many people immediately looked around him, but they found that other than the person on his back, there was no sign of the son of a demon. At this moment, all kinds of doubts arose in many people's hearts. What on earth had happened? Jiang Wujie, where's the son of a demon? The Flame Emperor frowned and took the lead to ask. He's gone. He's gone far away. Jiang Wujie looked at the crowd and said bitterly. Now that his soul had been planted with the slave enchantment, he couldn't betray Lin Ling even if he wanted to. Therefore, when he saw the looks of anticipation on everyone's faces, he felt that it was a great irony. He's gone. So many people went to catch him, but he escaped. Where's the golden crow? Why didn't he catch the son of a demon? Hearing this, many people frowned. This script was completely different from what they had imagined. This made them even more confused because the son of a demon shouldn't have been able to escape if the golden crow had made his move. The golden crow. He's dead. This is behind me. Jiang Wujie smiled bitterly again. At the same time, he threw away the corpse on his back. The golden crow's corpse had been pierced by a sword and had died in an extremely miserable manner. This result was like a stone that stirred up 1,000 ripples. Even the golden crow was dead. Chapter 33-47. A Nightmare. Everyone stared at the golden crow's corpse. Their expressions changed from anticipation to fear. They thought back to the time when the son of Devil was fighting the 9th god bloodline. At that time, the son of Devil had domineeringly said, "Who else wants to capture me?" Facts had proven that whoever went to capture the son of the devil would die. Looks like he was still hiding something when he defeated the 9-fold god's bloodline. The Flame Emperor, Wangu Yixiong, and the other martial progenitor realm experts had grave expressions on their faces after confirming the death of the golden crow. The son of the devil was truly difficult to kill. Now that he had escaped, it was the same as letting the tiger return to the mountain. Furthermore, the thought of the son of the demon's mysterious methods made them shudder even though they were martial progenitors. Oh, no. While all sorts of feelings welled up in their hearts, Jiang Wujie suddenly knelt down in the air and let out a cry of pain. His face was contorted as if he had suffered some great torture. Mercy, mercy. He kept kowtowing because the slave enchantment in his soul was destroying his soul. The reason for this was Lin Ling. As long as the slave enchantment was planted, the master could turn the slave into ashes with just a thought. This was also the reason why the powerful slaves in the arena did not dare to resist. And Jiang Wujie knew that Lin Ling had no intention of letting him go. He wanted him dead. Jiang Wujie thought that as long as he became Lin Ling's slave, he would not have to die. However, he was willing to be a slave, but Lin Ling did not want him. His pained voice had undoubtedly silenced the crowd. Jiang Wujie, what's wrong? The Tai Yi ancestor shouted anxiously. However, as soon as he finished speaking, Jiang Wujie stopped moving. He just knelt in the sky quietly. It was extremely strange. Dead. His soul was shattered by someone. The Flame Emperor was powerful, so he could naturally see that Jiang Wujie's soul had dissipated. However, he guessed that this was the doing of the demonic son. This meant that the demonic son had purposely called Jiang Wujie back to tell them that today's matter was not over yet. They're all dead. Looking at Jiang Wujie kneeling in the sky, many people felt chills run down their spines. This kind of death was too strange. After all, Jiang Wujie was an expert at the middle stage of the Saint Realm. Let's go. The Flame Emperor let out a low growl. There was no point in staying any longer, so he left with the remaining cultivators. He had a feeling that if he didn't kill the devil's son today, he would regret it in the future. They all failed. Looking at the people leaving one after another, the Tai Yi old ancestor suddenly felt very uncomfortable. It was as if he had lost something. However, at this time, many people from the Grand Change Nebula sect left as well. What is the meaning of this? Seeing this, Tai Yi old ancestor frowned. The disciples of Tai Yi Nebula sect were following them. Sect leader, betraying the sect is very shameful, so we don't want to do such a thing. All the disciples stopped in their tracks and Zilong said indifferently. Then what do you mean by this? The Great Change Patriarch asked again. Let this matter fade away. We will all leave Tai E Nebula sect. This time, it was Yi Ling Tian who spoke. He shook his head and said, you can continue to treat us as disciples of Tai E Nebula sect, or you can ignore us. However, we will never return to Tai E Nebula sect. It was obvious that they wanted to leave Tai E Nebula sect. However, they wanted to give face to Tai E Nebula sect, so they didn't mention betraying the sect. Instead, they wanted to fade away the matter. After all, if all the disciples betrayed Tai E Nebula sect, then Tai E Nebula sect would lose face in Yen state. Why? Tai E old ancestor's face immediately turned ugly. He said indifferently, after you leave, you will never return. Isn't this equivalent to betraying the sect? I didn't expect you to be a bunch of ingrates. I was blind. Hee hee. Hearing this, everyone laughed. Zilong shook his head helplessly and said, Senior brother Lin Ling has made great contributions to Tai E Nebula sect. The trip to Heavenly King Mountain made Tai E Nebula sect famous in Yen state. However, when the enemy came, Tai E Nebula sect betrayed him. Now, sect leader, you have the nerve to say that we are ingrates? That's right. When the enemy comes, it's the disciples who are betrayed. Then why do these disciples treat Tai E Nebula sect as their own? Yi Ling Tian also spoke. Do you think that we can stop the new heavenly court if all of us go out? Tai E old ancestor laughed. His laughter was full of sarcasm. This time, the disciples didn't speak. They shook their heads and left one after another. Only one sarcastic sentence floated out. Of course, we don't expect the sect to fight against the enemy. However, at that time, even if the sect stands behind us, it's better than joining the enemy's camp. If we do that, our hearts will be bitterly disappointed. That sentence stunned Tai E old ancestor. He frowned and looked at the people who left. For a moment, he couldn't refute. The members of the God Slayer Alliance laughed and left. Wangu Wuji, Sakura, and the others also temporarily followed the God Slayer Alliance. Of course, they also went to pick up Xiao Yu and the others along the way. Xiao Yu and Remnant Sword were just after images. They were still hiding in the Green Mountains. However, Xiao Yu didn't plan to leave with Sakura and the others. She wanted to stay in the Yen province and wait for Lin Ling. Sakura and the others were helpless about this. Although Xiao Yu had acknowledged them, she still treated Lin Ling like family. This was something that they couldn't do. Sakura and the others thought that Xiao Yu and the others were temporarily safe in the Green Mountains. They could only leave for the time being. Sakura and the others left because the new heavenly court would keep an eye on them. If they didn't follow the God Slayer Alliance, they would be in danger. Moreover, they could become stronger if they followed the God Slayer Alliance. Xiao Yu, Lin Ling is fine. Once the limelight passes, he will definitely come looking for you. During this period, you just need to hide in the Green Mountains. Before leaving, Sakura exhorted. I know. Xiao Yu replied with a smile. Of course, she knew that brother Lin Ling would be fine. When the new heavenly court came looking for brother Lin Ling, she had secretly asked her grandfather for help. Her grandfather also said that he was free. Therefore, Xiao Yu knew that brother Lin Ling would be fine. Brother Lin Ling will definitely come looking for us. After Sakura and the others left, Xiao Yu looked at the sky and said, Lord will definitely come. Beside her, the young man nodded. At this moment, Lin Ling was hiding in a small world in the eastern region. While he was cultivating, he was also raising his cultivation realm. In the ancient sea, huge sea demons would pass by from time to time. Lin Ling sat cross-legged at the bottom of the bottomless sea. A tornado appeared around his body, enveloping him and separating him from the seawater. Chapter 33-48. A breakthrough in strength. At this moment, Lin Ling's fifth dantian had an additional color. It was a turquoise dantian. His boundary essence was the same color. Wisps of wind wrapped around his dantian like threads, forming a powerful force. This fifth dantian was originally a very ordinary dantian. This also meant that by relying on the boundary essence of this dantian, Lin Ling was only an ordinary first heaven sage. But now, this dantian had begun to transforming into a desolate physique. The great nether wind dragon was the abnormal dragon god of the dragon race. It controlled the great Tao of wind and had the deepest understanding of wind in the universe. Rumble. As the dantian continued to transform, monstrous waves finally appeared in the depths of the sea. Those sea demons that passed by were all swept to death by the waves and strong winds. It was terrifying. At the same time, a powerful aura spread out from the sea, causing all the sea demons to lie motionless, their bodies trembling. Obviously, they sensed that there was an extremely terrifying existence in the sea. Rumble. With a final roar, the sea began to calm down. In the whirlpool of the sea, a figure stood there quietly, his blue robe drifting with the waves. Second Heaven Sage. I didn't expect the great nether wind dragon's soul to allow me to successfully raise my realm. The young man smiled faintly. With the help of the great nether wind dragon's soul, Lin Ling had successfully entered the second Heaven Sage realm. Moreover, all 5 of his dantians were the same. Other than the dragon soul, Lin Ling had been constantly devouring treasures. Those treasures were taken from the hands of Saint Realm experts. Of course, what made Lin Ling happy was that his 5th dantian was no longer an attributeless dantian. His talent had reached the 7th grade and it was a wind attribute talent. He had the wind dragon soul. Not only did this dantian increase his boundary essence, it also allowed Lin Ling's speed to increase once again. Currently, he relied on his own speed to reach 200 world speed. If he used the wind and rain myriad world technique, he could reach 300 world speed. What kind of concept was that? It could be said that other than someone at the peak of the sage realm or someone with an ultimate desolate body that was good at speed, no one could catch up to Lin Ling. The 5 dantians are the world-swallowing beast, the sky dragon bone, the space and time divine steel, the Taiyu wind dragon, and the thunder dantian. 3 of the dantians are in the barren body category. 1 dantian is the ultimate barren body. Other than the thunder dantian, it is the most ordinary. Lin Ling smiled confidently. Everyone else felt that he was very powerful in fighting above his level, but who knew how strong his hidden trump card was? After all, if any one of these trump cards were possessed by any one of them, that person would be an extremely powerful saint stage expert, let alone when all of them were gathered in Lin Ling's hands. I was lucky this time. If not for the fact that the Golden Crow's defense isn't that strong, the true inheritance dark sword would have taken a lot more effort to kill him. At that time, my life force would have been consumed even more, and it would be difficult to make up for it. Thinking of what happened not too long ago, Lin Ling was secretly feeling lucky. Now, the true inheritance dark sword was once again on his back. It was given to him by treasure god Nanwu Fengyu. I don't know how long I've been in seclusion this time. I'd better go pick up Xiaoyu immediately. Moreover, the Yen State incident should have died down by now. Lin Ling shot towards the sky above the sea. In less than a breath's time, he reached the sky above the sea and looked into the distance. Suddenly, a strange scene in front of him attracted Lin Ling's attention. It was a colorful cloud layer. It was beautiful, like an illusion. Scattered cultivators gathered around the clouds. They seemed to be very curious, but they didn't dare to enter rashly. What is this? It's so strange. Lin Ling couldn't see through the 5-colored clouds either, so he walked forward. What is this? I don't know. Maybe it's a divine tomb left behind by the ancients, or maybe it's a secret realm. The people around him spoke in 2s and 3s. It seems that this is a secret realm. However, such a secret realm appeared in this world. Lin Ling also stopped around the cloud layer. His eyes lit up. Sir, what nonsense are you talking about? Why do you think this is a secret realm? An old man saw that Lin Ling was young and immediately said with disdain. However, Lin Ling did not pay attention to them. He continued to investigate the mysterious colorful cloud layer. Then, with a smile, he stepped into the colorful cloud layer. You're courting death. Everyone. The reason why they did not dare to enter was because they felt that the colorful cloud layer emitted a powerful majesty. That was why they did not dare to enter. Now, that young man actually dared to enter. At such a young age, his cultivation was probably not even at the World King realm. He was really courting death. In their world, the strongest was only at the martial immortal realm. Half-saints and saints only appeared in legends. Dead, I think he's definitely dead. Yes. The old man with the strongest cultivation laughed in schadenfreude. At this moment, Lin Ling entered the colorful cloud layer. What surprised him was that his soul force seemed to be sealed. He could not see through it at all. He could only move forward along the colorful cloud layer. He had a feeling that this kind of mystic realm would appear randomly. It could appear anywhere in the 9 prefectures or the 10,000 worlds. After an unknown period of time, a hot aura spread out. After passing through the clouds, Lin Ling discovered that there was a yellow land in front of him. Yellow sand danced in the air. The most important thing was that this place was extremely hot. This kind of heat had already surpassed the limits of the World King realm and even the martial immortal realm. This place is extraordinary. Yes. Lin Ling's pupils condensed. He carefully looked again and suddenly felt a familiar aura. This aura came from his Sky Dragon Bone Dantian and Supreme Nether Wind Dragon Dantian. The aura of the Dragon God. Yes. Lin Ling muttered to himself. He was even more aware of the extraordinariness of this secret realm. This secret realm is very suitable for my dragon bloodline. However, it's better to pick up Xiaoyu now. I'll come back later. I hope this secret realm won't disappear. After quietly looking for a moment, Lin Ling turned around and left. After all, if he were to explore the secret realm, he didn't know how long it would take. That was why he wanted to pick up Xiaoyu. After passing through the colorful cloud layer again, Lin Ling appeared in the sky above the sea after a long time. The group of people was still discussing something. One of them shook his head and said, "It's been so long. That idiot from before should be dead. We don't know whether to enter or leave this secret realm." However, just as he finished speaking, he saw a blue-robed youth appear in front of the colorful cloud layer. This time, everyone was astonished. This secret realm is not something you can enter. Lin Ling glanced at them and then said. He didn't want too many people to enter the secret realm. However, his words were true. It was just that his cultivation realm was too high. It surpassed everyone's vision, so no one thought of him as a powerhouse. If you say so, then so be it. Chapter 33-49. Back again. However, there were some people who were more polite. They cupped their hands and said, "Sir, what's inside? Why do you say that? The temperature inside is very high. The temperature is beyond what you can bear. Therefore, unless you're a martial immortal, you'll definitely die inside. Moreover, even martial immortals need to consume energy to withstand the temperature. If you run out of energy, you'll also die." Lin Ling looked at the person who spoke because his words were very polite and courteous. "Thank you." The person who spoke was a woman. She said gratefully. "Huh, you're so powerful. Why aren't you dead?" The others had disdainful expressions. Lin Ling didn't bother to explain. If these people wanted to die, then so be it. In my opinion, that person is trash. He's trying to mislead people. He wants to take all the treasures in the secret realm for himself. Even martial immortals can't stop him. What a joke. There are only 5 martial immortals in our world. They're the legendary gods. That guy spoke as if he's seen a martial immortal before. However, Lin Ling didn't care about the mockery of those ants at all. That was because he and those people were from 2 different worlds. Therefore, he left with large strides. Wait, did I allow you to leave? However, at that moment, a cold voice sounded. It was the old man who first spoke. As for Lin Ling, he continued walking as if he didn't hear it. How dare you? If you don't tell me what's in the secret realm, you won't be able to leave here today. The old man frowned and suddenly became angry. That was because Lin Ling was ignoring him. He took a step forward and a powerful aura erupted. It caused the water of the sea to soar into the sky. It was extremely terrifying. Who is that person? The other people's expressions changed greatly. They knew that the old man was very powerful. However, they didn't expect him to be so powerful. Controlling the sea. Could it be that he's one of the 5 legendary martial immortals with the 100 great bloodlines? What? A martial immortal expert is hiding among us? Many people's hearts trembled. Martial immortal, that was the first time they'd seen one in their lives. It had only appeared in legends. Martial immortal? The woman who had been extremely polite to Lin Ling covered her mouth. She knew that the blue-robed young man was in trouble. The old man's strength was indeed terrifying. In the blink of an eye, he appeared behind Lin Ling and grabbed out with his big hand. However, at this moment, Lin Ling finally stopped in his tracks. He turned around to look, and his eyes were filled with coldness. Boom! With merely a glance, the martial immortal-level old man hidden within the crowd felt as if his heart was about to shatter. What a frightening gaze! What a cold gaze! Pop! Pop! At the same time, the surging ocean water was cut into pieces by a force. It was wind, a powerful wind. Even the water was cut apart. How could people not sense how terrifying this power was? Yes, 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 sorry. The old man's forehead was covered in cold sweat. Only now did he realize how terrifying this young man who was younger than him was. Killing martial immortals would be as easy as chopping vegetables. Scram! Lin Ling shouted in a low voice. I was wrong, I was wrong. The old man knelt down in the air and left while kneeling. Lin Ling shook his head. He did not bother with these weak people. He took a step and instantly disappeared. With his current strength, he would not even bother to attack a sage-to-be, let alone a mere martial immortal. What a fast speed! Teleportation. Seeing Lin Ling suddenly disappear, people felt suffocated. This time, they did not dare to enter the 5-colored clouds again. That was because they believed that senior's words. He's actually such an expert. The funny thing is that we thought he was an ant-like existence. Fortunately, he didn't kill us. It seems that he doesn't care about us. With our strength, I'm afraid he doesn't care about us at all. After everything returned to normal, everyone said with mixed feelings. As for that secret realm, they would never dare to touch it again. At this moment, Lin Ling was heading towards the Yen province. His speed was extremely fast. After half a day, the miracle continent appeared in front of him. Who's there? Just as Lin Ling was about to enter the Yen province, a cold shout suddenly sounded. Several figures blocked in front of Lin Ling. These people were all in the sage realm. Furthermore, they were wearing armor and looked extremely dignified. If you have something to say, say it. However, without the existence of the ultimate desolate body, Lin Ling obviously did not care about them. Furthermore, these people blocked his path, which made him a little unhappy. Do you have the identity to enter the Yen province? If not, scram immediately. If you're caught, you'll become a slave. The leading man said indifferently as he stared at Lin Ling. He felt that Lin Ling gave him a sense of familiarity. So that's how it is. Lin Ling nodded in realization. This was indeed the rule of the Yen province. Without identity, no one was allowed to enter the Yen province. In the past, it was because of this reason that Lin Ling had gone to the Grand Simplicity Nebula sect to obtain the identity of a Grand Simplicity Nebula sect member. However, at that time, Lin Ling was seeking refuge, so he kept a low profile. Now that Lin Ling's identity had been exposed, there was no need for him to keep a low profile. So what if I don't have an identity? Lin Ling smiled and strode towards the Yen province, appearing incomparably domineering. This was because he knew that these people were the Flame Emperor's men. He would not give any face to the Flame Emperor. How dare you? No one expected this young man to be so insolent. He left as soon as he said he wanted to, completely ignoring them. Stay. Someone attacked. His Jia Yuan was extremely huge, and he did not show any mercy when he attacked. This was because the Flame Emperor's order to deal with such people who did not abide by the rules was to kill without mercy. Kill me. Lin Ling continued to walk forward. The tyrannical song sword appeared in his hand, and he slashed fiercely. Swoosh! Blood spurted out and bloomed in the void of the universe. He killed that person with a single slash. He's so strong. The other people's expressions changed drastically. The person who had attacked earlier was a level 5 saint, but he could not block a single slash. This young man's strength was too terrifying. Your Excellency, you have extraordinary courage. Alright, you can go in. We won't stop you, but let me remind you that once you enter the Yen province, you'll never be able to come out. The remaining people sneered and put their hands behind their backs. They did not stop him because they knew that people like Lin Ling would not live long after entering the Yen province. This person is arrogant, but he gives me a very familiar feeling. It's as if I've seen him somewhere before. One of the men was still frowning, as if he was recalling something. Why bother? He's just a dead man. Even if he doesn't die, he's still a slave. A person next to him said mockingly. However, as soon as he finished speaking, another sword slashed at him, causing a deep sword mark to appear on his neck. After that, he slowly turned around and discovered that the young man who'd left earlier had actually returned. Moreover, the young man was holding a huge sword. It was very cold, as if he'd come from the depths of hell. You! He pointed at Lin Ling and wanted to say something, but in the end, his head fell off. He was dead. Chapter 3350. Reclaim the interest. Lin Ling smiled as he walked forward. His smile was extremely cold, and his words shocked those people. They did not stop Lin Ling. Who knew that Lin Ling wanted to kill them all? This kind of arrogance was beyond imagination. Die. Unfortunately, Lin Ling did not give them time to think. The demon sword's murderous aura gushed out and took their lives. I remember now. You are the son of demon. The last person finally remembered who Lin Ling was and where he had seen him before. Finally, there is a smart person. As a reward, I will spare your life. Go back and tell the Flame Emperor that I, the son of demon, did not provoke him. If he dares to provoke me, then wait for my revenge. Kill. Lin Ling cut off that person's arm and then disappeared on the spot. That person rubbed his broken arm, his face extremely pale. He had long heard that the son of demon was extremely frivolous. Today, he saw that the reputation was not undeserved. Because not long ago, the son of demon was being hunted down. However, in such a short period of time, he came to the Yen state again. Was this not to tell the Flame Emperor that he, the son of demon, could go wherever he wanted? Even the God Emperor could not stop him. In the sky of the Yen state, Lin Ling's figure appeared, passing by at the speed of 200 worlds. Not long after, under the silent green mountains, Lin Ling appeared. As soon as he appeared, Xiao Yu and the others noticed him. Brother Lin Ling. Sir. Xiao Yu, Afterimage, Broken Sword and the others were all overjoyed. They knew that Lin Ling would come, but they did not expect Lin Ling to come so soon. Xiao Yu. Seeing that Xiao Yu was safe and sound, Lin Ling also smiled excitedly. He shot to the ground and then picked Xiao Yu up. This time, Brother Lin Ling owes you a life again. Hugging Xiao Yu, Lin Ling said gratefully in his heart. Hee, I was just trying my luck. Who knew that Grandpa would be free? Xiao Yu said with a smile. Then, she asked about Grandpa. Lin Ling also told her about the story, making Xiao Yu miss Grandpa very much. Sir, your luck is really good. You actually escaped this catastrophe. Afterimage, on the other hand, looked at Lin Ling with gratification. Ever since he had followed Lin Ling, he had personally witnessed Lin Ling created countless miracles. And now, he realized that Lin Ling's strength had gradually surpassed his from being weaker than his. Although luck is a part of one's strength, it's not good to always rely on luck. After all, luck will run out one day. Lin Ling said with a smile. He looked around and asked, Where are my brothers? Afterimage quickly told him everything that had happened after Lin Ling left. Big Brother, Meng Lu, Wangu Wuji, and the others have all joined the God Slayer Alliance. That's great. The God Slayer Alliance has been traveling around the 9 prefectures all year round. We can also gain experience by following them. Moreover, with their addition, the God Slayer Alliance's strength has greatly increased. After hearing everything, Lin Ling nodded his head in satisfaction. Sir, are we going to the God Slayer Alliance now? Afterimage asked hastily. However, Lin Ling shook his head and said, There's a place that we must go immediately. If we miss it, we might not be able to find it again. So, let's go there first. All right. The few of them nodded and followed Lin Ling out of Green Mountain. This time, the new Heavenly Court, the Flame Emperor, and the Divine Weapon Mansion have joined forces to capture me. They are Lin Ling's enemies. Since they made the first move, we can't just swallow our anger. As they passed by an ancient city, Lin Ling stopped in his tracks and looked down calmly. Sir, you mean to teach them a lesson? I'll go. Savage Sword, who had been silent all this while, licked his lips and shot toward the city below. Kill only the Flame Emperor, the new Heavenly Court, and the Divine Weapon Mansion. Forget about the others. Lin Ling instructed. Savage Sword had been on the brink of death many times. He had a violent temperament and was ruthless. He was very suitable to be an assassin. Although his strength was only at the first heaven of the Sage Realm, he could kill late-stage Sage Realm experts because of his assassination techniques. Of course, the premise was that the other party was not prepared. If they were prepared, Savage Sword's methods would be greatly reduced. After Savage Sword landed on the ground, he immediately started to inquire about the situation. As an assassin, he was very good at gathering information. In the end, he transmitted his voice to Lin Ling and informed him that there were people from the Divine Weapon Mansion in this city. Kill them all. Lin Ling immediately responded coldly. Lin Ling knew that he had no grudges with the Divine Weapon Mansion. However, the other party had captured Lin Ling for no reason in order to curry favor with the new Heavenly Court. Therefore, Lin Ling would not give him any face. The Divine Weapon Mansion was an escort agency that could be found all over the 9 prefectures. As long as one had money, one could submit a mission here and the agency would complete anything for them. However, today, the agency had encountered an assassin. A cold and ruthless assassin who killed people like scything flax. In the short time it took for an incense stick to burn, a large number of people had died in the agency. This caused the agency to be in chaos because they did not expect that someone would dare to assassinate them in broad daylight. After more people had died, the experts from the escort agency finally reacted. Now that they were on guard, Savage Sword's methods were obviously suppressed. "Sir, why do you want to kill us? I know you're hiding in this city, but this is our territory. You can't escape even if you have wings." The strongest escort in the agency seemed to have taken control of the entire city as he shouted coldly in the city. The entire city was as if they were facing a great enemy. Moreover, all of them were furious. Killing people in their territory was looking down on them. However, at this moment, the dragon god roared in the sky. An oppressive atmosphere enveloped the entire ancient city. This also caused everyone's attention to be focused on the sky. There was a huge dragon bow in the sky. The dragon god's arrow was aimed at the city from afar. The fatal dragon god's arrow undoubtedly caused the people of the Divine Weapon Mansion to tremble in fear. This was because they had long heard of this arrow. According to legend, this Buddha god's arrow was the method that made the son of the devil famous. However, the son of the devil had just escaped not long ago. Now, he had returned. This was too shocking. It could be said that he did not play by the rules. "That's right, I am the son of the devil." In the sky, Lin Ling sneered, telling everyone that he, the son of the devil, had returned. Boom! The dragon god's arrow immediately exploded on the ground and swept through the ancient city. At the same time, Lin Ling put away the dragon bow and left with a few people. As for the ancient city behind him, it had already turned into ashes. That domineering scene told everyone that the son of the devil was not someone to be trifled with. In the past, he could destroy gods, and today, he could also kill enemies. Rumble. The ancient city rumbled continuously. Those who were still alive were pale as if they had seen a demon king. What happened here was only the first example. In the following days, Lin Ling destroyed all the cities or sects that he passed by, as long as they were related to the Flame Emperor, the New Heavenly Court, and the Divine Weapon Mansion. Moreover, it was a domineering destruction. Every injustice had its perpetrator, and every debt had its debtor. Lin Ling did not attack anyone else, but he was extremely ruthless against his enemies. The entire Yen state was in a state of panic. The son of the devil had returned. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.